show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show with the three amigos. Hotman, Crowder, and Solana on FM radio. Them boys be sliding, so we riding and we ready to go. 100,000 watts full throttle, baby, ready to blow. We passing coca up to Jupiter, we got your attention. You can tune in anywhere, but listen at your discretion. To the legend, Mr. Hotman can't stop him, each other deuce. My brother got his own hot burger at Tucker Deuce. Now my rush more of these sports, spitting the truth. It's Channing Crowder, greatest Dolphins, who rock up 52. Solana one best of Miami, the voice of FIU. We reppin' to Miami, the Heat and the Panthers too. We reppin' for the Marlins, the Dolphins, that's how we do. We reppin' for the crib, so it's always about the you. Hey Jimmy, please get a Pell on the phone and tell him that it's on. I finally got his name on the song. Can't do it wrong, cause it sounds so sweet. You spit the fast while I keep the crowd on their feet. Football season be the reason that I be bringing this heat. Georgia music representing 104.3. Hey, show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show on a Wednesday that was so close to feeling like a show where we'd be previewing a Friday night Heat game against Orlando or Philly, but alas, it is not to be.
LaMelo Ball had to see me about 8:30 last night.
Well, we have a lot to cover after this game last night. We have to talk about LaMelo and Bam and the grab. We've got to talk about Davion. We've got to talk about Kobe White. We've got to talk about Con Knipple, who's still just sitting on the bench. I think the team, they're probably practicing for Friday, but he's still just sitting on the bench.
He hasn't even taken a shower.
And there's so much to get to. This is what, just so you know where we're at right now with the LaMelo Bam situation. Ira had tweeted Ira from the Sun Sentinel had tweeted, per the NBA pool report on the LaMelo Ball play, you know, the head ref meets with a pool reporter after the game. This was the back and forth. Question, why was the play not reviewed in real time? The answer from the official, the play wasn't whistled in real time. Play continued with a fast break. And because play wasn't stopped immediately and there was no whistle on the play, the window to review the play was closed. Play was stopped after a change of possession and then a timeout. So by rule, our window to review that play is then closed. And the pool reporter says, was it later reviewed by the officiating crew in the locker room or the replay center? And the official says, our crew. We review all our plays. So we reviewed the play at halftime. And the pool reporter says, should it have risen to the level of a flagrant foul? And the official said, at this point, that goes to league operations. They'll make a determination in the coming days. So they make that determination and go from there. So that's just the background on why there wasn't a review in the moment, because play hadn't stopped. Bam was down, but play continued the other way. So there was no review available. But I've watched it a million times since last night. I'm sure everyone else has. That was dirty as hell. I mean, I can't come to any other conclusion.
The ref was standing right there. The ref was standing. Like, why did Bam fall? Why did he damn near do a backflip? Because the guy grabbed his, and I got hit in the head. I don't know what I'm doing. We saw it today on ESPN. They were showing that he grabbed Bam's leg before. He just reaches out and starts slapping people's legs whenever he's on the ground. Do I think he should have been kicked out of the game? This is, you know, as a Heat fan and as a guy that had a lot of money last night on Bam Adebayo's overs, he should not have been kicked out of the game. But to act like in game it didn't happen, that was the part that made me very upset, because what's it going to be? It's going to be a free throw and possession, whatever. And I don't know if that'll change the game. But to act like he didn't reach out and slap Bam's ankle from underneath him is the part that upsets me about it. But he should have continued playing that game.
Well, I would say whether the free throw matters or not, and a point did matter last night. Yeah, Bam being in the game, the Heat win that game.
Oh, 100%.
The Heat win that game. So
No, you
but-
can't say
but-
the number one of a team is in the game and you lose the game by one. Is Bam not going to move? Bam would have moved that line more than one playing another 2.5 quarters.
But I do happen to agree with you. He should not have been ejected in that moment. I wouldn't have ejected him. Now, I will tell you, part of me, the reason that I wouldn't have ejected him in that moment was Bam stood up. He was very demonstrative. It didn't seem like he was going to miss the rest of the game, in my opinion. So I don't think LaMelo should have been ejected in that moment. But that dirty play changed the outcome, in my opinion, of everything. They lost Bam, and they were gutting it out without him. Or you could take this track. The Heat are better without Bam. I don't know. They look pretty good. But Davion Mitchell, like, there's only so much you can expect him to do. But yeah, I was convinced it was a dirty play. It was certainly a flagrant one. It should have been whistled at that moment. I found it to be insulting when LaMelo said, "I hit my head. I didn't know what was going on." Like, then you shouldn't be in the game. Like that. If you hit your head so hard that you didn't know what was going on, and you just thought you needed to grab onto something like you were falling off a cruise ship, then you shouldn't have been in the game at all. So that I found to be a little insulting. What was your take on it, Solana?
Well, like, I understand why you guys don't think he should be ejected from the standpoint of it's not like he threw a punch. I realize that, right? There's a difference. But just letter of the law, a flagrant one is unnecessary contact. Clearly, there was no reason for him to make contact with Bam's leg, right? Unnecessary. So it meets the letter of a flagrant one.
Yeah.
Flagrant two, unnecessary and excessive contact. And I think it meets that as well, because there was no reason for him to actually pull Bam Adebayo's leg. Once he made contact with it, the ball is dead, and it's away from the play, which meets the criteria for excessive. So if we're just going letter of the law, Crowder, I know what you're talking about in terms of there's a moment for a guy to be ejected and there's not, and I'm with you, but if that ends up costing the Miami Heat their best player on the floor, and it meets the criteria for a flagrant two by the letter of the law, then why shouldn't he be ejected from the game? It's away from the play, and he's yanking somebody down, and now we know he's a repeat offender to the same player with Bam Adebayo. We've all seen that video as well. It's laughable to me that I'm seeing people on ESPN just kind of talking about, he didn't mean to do that. Like, what are we talking about? He didn't mean to do it. He grabbed his leg.
Solana, I can rationalize it to you because I thought about it today. You can't have the outcome make you think
dictate what the play was in that moment.
Yeah, the play was egregious because Bam got hurt. If Bam falls and doesn't miss the rest of the game, but it's a flagrant one. This is what I want to compare it to. If you run a stop sign and hit somebody, and the person inside of that car now has a heart attack, is that vehicular manslaughter?
I mean, by the letter of the law, it probably is.
No, it's not. They had a heart attack, but you just bumped them and they have a heart attack.
Right, but was it caused by that? I'm not. I know what you're saying because I happen to agree with you. I think in that situation, though, it might be vehicular manslaughter.
If they fly out the front window into a tree, it's vehicular manslaughter. If they get hit and have a heart attack, you can't say that the accident was the cause of their heart attack and that now you've killed that person. If he would have slapped Bam's ankle and Bam falls and jumps back up, it's not right what he did. But you can't say now Bam's out for the game. Now it's egregious. He grabbed his ankle. A lot of players do it. I've seen it all day. I've seen stuff on Twitter where they're showing guys reach around and grab people's ankles. People try to slap guys' ankles all the time. This resulted in Bam getting hurt for the rest of the game and affecting a game. But you can't say now he gets kicked out because Bam got hurt. You would not feel that way if Bam jumped back up and ran down the court.
But it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, in that moment,
would you feel as if he should have been ejected if Bam jumped back up and ran down the court?
Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, in that moment.
You wouldn't lie.
But listen to what I'm telling you.
But
It meets
can I
the
just
criteria.
interject? What you're telling us is a lot of after the fact stuff. We know he's a repeat offender now after
I'm
the
not
fact.
telling
No.
you after the fact.
But you literally said that. You said we know now he's a repeat offender when it comes to that.
But did you guys are you just not you're not going to listen to the first two things I said, which was I'm going through the ruling of what a flagrant 1 is and a flagrant 2 is. And before we knew Bam Adebayo was out for the game, before we saw the video that he was a repeat offender, how could you sit here and tell me, letter of the law, a player after a play is dead, away from the play, the ball is on the other side of the court at this point, it's been inbounded, grabs a player, yanks him down, and that player falls down. That's unnecessary contact because he didn't need to grab Bam Adebayo. He was already down. It's not like he was holding Bam so that he would avoid falling. He was down, and he then grabbed Bam Adebayo's leg, and then excessive contact, yanking his leg. That's excessive. That meets the criteria for a flagrant 2. And to suggest that it doesn't, letter of the law, is patently
Solana, that was a
doesn't.
fender bender. That's not an accident. That's a fender bender. Was
He
that
grabbed somebody?
you could make physical?
Listen, I think it changed the outcome of the game, and I think it was a dirty play. But in that moment, we've all seen what a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2 looks like. It didn't look like a flagrant 2, especially in real time. It just didn't. Now, I think there's probably plenty of flagrant 1s that you could look at the letter of the law and make a case for it. I understand what you're saying. It wasn't called is the outcome of it. And in my opinion, they missed an easy flagrant 1.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, it changed the outcome of the game. And Spo was classy after the game. He called it what it was, which was a BS call, but he said, hey, we still lost the game. I don't think I would have been that classy after the game because I do believe that changed the entire outcome of the game. I was not impressed with Charlotte. I really wasn't. I mean, they were pulling magic plays out of their butts. They weren't getting called for, I mean, there was a travel that was an easy call. Like there were Charlotte benefited from a number of misses by the refs in that game, including the flagrant foul against Bam, and Charlotte ended up pulling enough magic out of their hat to win the game. Spo was classy. I think the Heat are playing Friday night if that was called the way that it should have been called, even just a flagrant 1. I believe that outcome is different. I just do.
If Bam plays another entire half, and you still only lose by 1 in overtime, Bam would have affected that game.
Even if you get the free throw and a possession, it could completely change that entire game. Anyway, we're going to talk about it all day. Jim Larenega is going to be on with us for an entire hour. Zack Gelb is going to join us, and Will Manso is going to join us this hour. So we've got basketball and the Heat covered all afternoon. Let's do a quick look at the headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com.
So the game obviously brings the Heat season to an end. The play-in tournament kings, the champs of the play-in tournament over the last 3 years have unfortunately been dethroned. The chaos at the end was insane. Your boy Kobe White, Hawk, like if I'm mad at anybody today,
Ridiculous.
It's the stupid Chicago Bulls who fired the people who made this move anyways. So I don't even know who I'm mad at, but Kobe White saved the Charlotte Hornets season yesterday.
You remember a couple seasons ago when I was at the Heat Bulls game and I bet the Kobe White over and he stunk in the first half and I said there's no way he's going to hit the over. And then in the second half, it's like watching MJ. That's what happened last night with Kobe White. Like he woke the crowd up. I think it was his second 3 that put them up 5. It was either 5 or 6. And the crowd went crazy, and you felt like it might almost be a dagger. And it wasn't. That's how good this game was last night. This game was so good. When he hit that game-tying 3, I mean, that was comical. That was comical. That's a shot that goes in the movie Teen Wolf. And you go, well, that's not believable. Out of all the shots that they could have taken, that's the one. And just all net. It was ridiculous. Kobe White became, I shouldn't say became, he already is the play-in king. The problem is once he gets beyond the play-in. I don't know if we've never seen him get beyond the play-in. We'll have to see what happens on Friday with Kobe White.
And then we pull up from 3 with less than a minute left and don't touch the rim.
Well, that's not true because Kelowna got the rebound, and then Tyler Hero hit an insane shot.
Yeah.
Then
and
decided
Tyler Hero pulled up from a midi and didn't touch anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too mad at Tyler. Like, he could have won the game, but then he also put you in a position to be up 1 as well. And then Spo took him out for that entire final sequence, and they still got to the bucket at ease to take the lead.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, Crowder, I have a bone to pick with Hoch and Jimmy. First of all, like, my team just lost last night in crushing fashion, and my best player got knocked out of the game because of a dirty play. You can save the, wow, what a game text. Like, just shut up about, wow, what a game. Like, yeah, no bleep.
It was a great game.
No bleep. It went into overtime. There were multiple opportunities for a game winner, and there was chaos for the final 10 minutes of game action. No bleep. It was a good game. And then I get to the studio today, and Jimmy, again, after he said that 18 times last night, yeah, what a game, though, right, man? Like, shut up. Shut up, both of you. I don't need.
I'll look at the text thread.
What
He said it once.
Like, I don't need that.
Sorry if you're so sensitive because you're sitting next to Tommy Tide. But
I'm with Solana.
Yeah, like no bleep.
When I played, I hated. We get whooped, or even if it's a close game at the end and they drive and kick a field goal to win it. Hey man, great game, great fight. Man, leave me alone. That was not. We just got ass whooped. What are you talking about?
What are we doing here with the?
Yeah.
Oh well, Bam was out, so at least they kept it close. Like,
where are you seeing that on the text thread?
Oh, like, okay, fine. I don't need to hear that.
But did this happen in your head? I'm looking at the text thread.
You were just annoying the entire game. Like, you're like your text. I mean, just annoying, all of you.
Which text annoyed you?
Every single
I wouldn't
one.
trade Davion for Knipple or Cooper Flag. Did that text annoy you? Wiggs with the exclamation point. Did that text annoy you? I'd absolutely run it back with this roster. Did that text annoy you?
Ball is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Well, are you talking about when he yanked Bam and he took him out for the entire game?
Yeah, I was talking about how spastic he is. I literally was talking about how LaMelo Ball is spastic out there. He went from the worst play you could make in a situation, which is fouling Tyler on that 3, into hitting the game winner. Ball is ridiculous. I didn't mean that as a compliment. He's a ridiculous player to watch.
He's fun to watch, though. I can appreciate
fun as hell.
ability.
When you don't have a vested interest, like I love, I was trying to compare it to, like, who do you enjoy watching? Baker Mayfield. You don't have, like, or Brett Favre when he's just zinging the ball around or whatever. LaMelo Ball. If you don't have a vested interest in the outcome of the game, now we did last night, but that guy, I texted, Coach Larenega is going to join us at 3. I texted him, that guy will give a coach a heart attack. And he said, yes, absolutely. Because you can't corral it. It's who he is.
When he got across half court, I was sitting on my couch and I yell, pull it, Melo.
Yep.
I just pull it. Just shoot. It's just so fun how he plays. That's
it's
how I like
it.
It's not.
And he doesn't.
I don't like offensive
last night. 4%. I mean,
he was terrible. Knipple was terrible. He was terrible.
Knipple couldn't even sniff the court at the end. This is the guy I've heard all season about is better than Cooper Flag. What have I missed?
It's Knipple. He's running out of juice.
That guy was awful.
Knipple's running out of milk. I don't know if you heard the joke.
If I was ranking players that I least wanted to watch, LaMelo Ball's number 1. Like, it's not even a question.
Solana.
He's flexing everywhere. He travels. I mean, the slowest Euro step in the history of the league, and nobody decides to blow their whistle because, of course, why would you?
You love the Euro step. I've complained about this for years, and you love the Euro step.
There has to be continuation between the Euro. And he took a stop in Aruba, and then landed in Europe 18 days later. Oh, but no problem. LaMelo Ball gets to do whatever he wants. Obviously, he gets to knock out Bam Adebayo, no whistle. And then he's flexing on everybody. Like, just like, shut up. Shut up, LaMelo. What are you doing?
Did you enjoy watching Allen Iverson?
Oh, I loved AI. Yeah.
That game happened to be great last night.
That, bro, I know. Solana's messing around.
You
can't think that. Yeah, you can't think that game wasn't good.
Here we go. Jimmy, they win the game. It's been that type of game. Hate how this game ended, but this was an amazing game. Oh, you had to send both of those, did you, Jimmy? Thank you.
What's wrong with that text? That text is right on.
But then Hawk right after, without Bam, no less. Wow, what a game.
Yeah.
We just lost. I don't need, wow, what a game.
But I can still acknowledge it was a great game, and I'm acknowledging it today. That was a great game.
As a spectator, not a fan.
Well, even as a fan, they didn't belong to be in that game. Bam was out of the game. They didn't belong to be. They were a 5.5-point underdog when Bam was in the game. Bam doesn't play. They're in it right at the end. That game was a great game. You could have been a lot worse. Otherwise,
could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, no, we could have lost by 2, right, Jimmy?
No, we could have lost by 50.
I mean, yeah, no bleep. We could have lost by 1 billion too. Like, yeah, I know how math works. I know how the game works.
I'm not so certain you do.
Your team loses, and it's like, wow, what a game, though. Like, what? What?
Oh, what happened? A single tear rolled down your eye.
Yeah, I was pissed yesterday.
You wanted us to send you pictures of ourselves crying on the couch.
I'm pissed yesterday. I'm pissed today. I'm pissed that our superstar was knocked out of the game. And then on top of the fact that I have to hear again from Jimmy, wow, what a game, though, huh? Wow,
but
yeah,
he's right, though.
Game.
His take is better than yours.
I have to hear you two cape up for LaMelo Ball all segment? Like, what are we doing
Cape up
here?
for him?
Solana,
I just said he'll give you a heart attack if you're his coach. I just told you he made one of the worst plays you could ever make in that situation. What are you hearing?
He should have been ejected. And he should have won by 30. And that like we should be talking about the game on Friday. Boom. Period. End of story. Where are your guts at?
My guts? You want me to make up an ending? I watched the game last night. I know how it ended.
We all watched that game, Solana.
By the way,
what do we?
The Heat are not world beaters with this team.
I want to know what you want the text to say if it's not that was a good game.
Yeah.
Now, what would be the correct text? Solana?
No, he wants to see us crying. He wanted crying emojis.
Yeah, don't text me.
But you text us.
I didn't text you guys.
I beg to differ. Go ahead, wrap up the headlines because I don't have enough time with Will.
The Marlins will play again today against the Atlanta Braves, the Florida Panthers, and their regular season tonight as well. And then you've got the other play-in tournament games tonight in the NBA. We'll see if the Amazon Prime broadcast can keep their signal up for the entire length of either of those games today. We'll see. Just a big question mark. Your weather in South Florida right now, it is partly cloudy. It's around 80 degrees. Tonight, lows are going to drop into the mid-70s. Right now in South Florida, it's a little windy as well, and there could be some rain coming up later on in the afternoon. That weather report was brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate.
We'll continue on all day with Hochman, Crowder, and Weepy.
That's enough for Lufferkiss.
Will
Manso. What a game, though. What a game. What a great game.
Will Manso is going to join us in the next segment. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel like it. If your energy is low and your sleep is off, your weight won't budge, your mind is foggy all the time, your sex drive isn't what it used to be, switch things up. I'm talking about Atlantic Men's Clinic. I go there. I'm so happy I do. At Atlantic Men's Clinic, their advanced medical strategies, including TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more, treat low testosterone and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve your sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, helping you get back to feeling your best. So take control, get stronger in the gym, be sharper at work, feel like you used to feel with testosterone treatments at Atlantic Men's Clinic. They're the experts in treating low T and other men's sexual health conditions. They have treated many men for low T, including me. I'm here to tell you, you are going to notice a difference. If you're like the most guys who are low T, within just a few weeks, you're going to feel your energy return, the brain fog go away, your sleep improve, your workouts improve, your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. Atlantic Men's Clinic, they've served South Florida since 2020, have successfully treated thousands of men. So don't ignore the signs. Call today. Take that first step towards feeling better. They have 7 locations in South Florida. So call them at 877-455-7300, 877-455-7300, or you can visit atlanticmensclinic.com. Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Who are you comparing Kobe to?
Josh Giddey.
Go.
There you see that my behavior is unacceptable. So condescending, unnecessarily critical.
Let us talk Heat and play in with Will Manso, who was a part of the Heat broadcast, so many of the broadcasts on FanDuel, which no longer exists, by the way. Will Manso, though, sports anchor and reporter on Local 10 here in Miami. He's on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Let's start with the LaMelo Ball grab of Bam's ankle. Was it dirty, in your opinion? Did it rise to the level of a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2 and an ejection, in your opinion?
I mean, I think it was about as dirty as can get. You know, people talk about intent, right? Like, okay, you know, did he mean to hurt him? No, I don't think LaMelo Ball meant to hurt Bam Adebayo. Did he mean to grab him by the foot and pull him back to kind of make him lose his balance as he's falling out of bounds? Absolutely. It was a play of frustration. And whether, you know, he said he got hit in the head or whatever the situation was, you don't grab a guy in that kind of vulnerable position and pull him back. He's done it before, as others have too. Look, at the game, you see sometimes those things happen. Guys get frustrated. But it absolutely could have warranted an ejection and certainly should have been looked at. But as it was explained after the game, the play continued, so they couldn't really stop it and look at it because the play continued on a fast break. But it was dirty as hell, absolutely.
But Will, I lost a lot of money last night because I had Bam over everything. But an ejection, like he shouldn't have been. If they did call it, they stopped play. He should have been ejected from the game from doing that because I've seen people. Draymond Green kick guys in the goodies all the time and doesn't get ejected. He should have been ejected from the game.
I mean, you do see guys kick and grab and pull and stuff like that get ejected if the official feels it's a dangerous play, which he certainly could have. I mean, it was. And the thing is that what makes it worse is when you look at the replay, you could think, okay, maybe he was just falling down and you know how you're falling, you're trying to grab something and that's what he grabbed. I mean, he was looking right at Bam's leg. It was pretty clear what he was trying to do. So yeah, it could have warranted, but more than anything, it should have been a flagrant, number one, and it should have been looked at. But again, because of the rules and the way the game kept going, it didn't. And it is what it is. And it stinks for the Heat, but I will give them credit. They battled, they fought hard. It was an entertaining game. But it was kind of a microcosm of the season, right? Like, oh, so close. Yeah, some good times, but in the end, a loss and their season's over.
What's the bigger microcosm of the season, Will? Is it the fact that you get to a play-in game, of course, and Bam Adebayo can't play? Or is it the fact that the Miami Heat were multiple times a stop away, and it feels like the final 15, 16 games, including that one, their defense just evaporated. It was kind of fitting that they couldn't get one stop being in that position without Bam.
It's brutal, and it goes to show, I think, the frustration. I tweeted something earlier that I think, you know, it had me because we're all thinking about all the scenarios of the Heat and what went wrong and what happened in the course of an 82-game season and a play-in. I mean, they set an NBA record for the most 140-point games in a season by an offense, 12. No team had ever done that before. They got off to a great start. They improved from last year to this year by 6 games. Bam had an 83-point game. No one was an all-star. Like, there seemed to be so much good, yet we never at any point felt like they were going to do anything. And I think a big reason why is because their defense slipped a lot, you know, whether it was the pace, whether it was the personnel, whatever. And in particular, the last month, guys, they were unwatchable defensively at times. You know, a Heat team allowing 130-plus points routinely is just embarrassing. And last night, for LaMelo to get that ball out of a timeout in a situation and just blow by Jaime, no help defense, Kalel's not in the game. It's just an easy layup. It's so unlike Heat basketball that I think, Solana, to your point, that's what you remember about this Heat season, the year they decided that they weren't going to play defense down the stretch or just, quite frankly, didn't have the right players to be able to play defense in big moments.
Did you learn anything about the Heat after that game? Like, I can't. Last night was a weird game, in my opinion. It was a game that the Heat had no business winning. It's also a game that the Heat had no business losing. That's how much that game vacillated at the end, where you're like, oh, they've got this one wrapped up, and then it was, oh, they don't have a chance, and then, oh, they've got this one wrapped up. Yeah. It was this weird game.
It was
but did you
weird,
learn anything about the team that you didn't know going into that game?
No, I mean, I think we had enough of a sample size to learn what this team is. And, you know, the old, you are what your record says you are kind of cliche applies because, you know, they said all year, and Eric Spoelstra mostly, you know, said, hey, look, I think we're better than this. I think there's more to give. I think and they never did. And at some point you just start to realize they never did because they're just not good enough. And it's weird because if you look at the pieces of the Heat, right, they look pretty good, but they're pieces of a puzzle that don't go together. They're just pieces of a puzzle that never came together. And part of it, sure, injuries, Tyler being out a lot of the year, Norm was down the stretch, wasn't himself. Bam, obviously in this game, getting hurt isn't ideal, but it just never matched, guys. And I think we learned that. And that's why this is one of those weird years. I know people are like, oh, it's the same thing in the last 3 or 4 years. I didn't feel this season was the same thing because unlike the last 3 or 4 years, I actually had a little bit of hope. Last year was a terrible season, but then they find a way in. You think, oh, maybe they'll make some noise. I don't think any Heat fan truly had hope that this was any more than a play-in team that maybe gets in the first round but wasn't going to do anything. And in the end, that's what they were.
And the phrase Heat basketball all year, and like you're saying, watching one game when it's, win or go home, that's not the basketball that I've watched the Heat play way back from Shaq and D Wade. Like you're saying, giving up 130, 140 points and all that stuff. We have to get back to that, right? Because that's not what I'm used to watching out of Spo's teams.
No, and I respect Spo going into the lab in the offseason and reworking the offense and hiring someone to kind of work with him in that capacity. And really, look, they led the Eastern Conference in points per game. But the problem is when you get into the ratings and the way that happened and the pace, it really didn't have a significant impact because they gave up almost as many points as they scored every night, and then some nights a lot more. So I think there's this idea that they have to kind of reinvent themselves, but I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is personnel. And again, I think Spo tried to reinvent himself and reinvent the offense because he knew the personnel he had didn't match a lot of things that they wanted to do. So maybe he thought, let's go with pace. Let's try that. And look, they started 14-7. It seemed to work well. Like everything, the league catches up a bit, and also the percentages catch up to you. Like you're just not going to have that kind of pace with the roster that the Heat had. So they have to get back to that, Channing, to your point, but I think it starts also with getting the right players, and I think we all know what that means. Getting an alpha, getting a top dog, getting number one, whatever you want to call it. They're still in that chase, and whether it comes with ping pong balls landing in the top 4 or whether it comes with this Giannis chase or something else, it needs to come. Otherwise, they're going to be this kind of middle-of-the-pack team for the foreseeable future.
Did it feel, Will, yesterday, just gut feeling, right? We don't know exactly what the moves will be in the offseason. We don't know what's going to end up happening with the lottery, but did it feel like we were maybe watching Tyler Hero in his last game with the Miami Heat, Andrew Wiggins, who has a player option in his last game with the Miami Heat, like kind of the main rotation players? I'm watching the game yesterday. We're listening to the broadcast, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this could be it for this core of Heat basketball post Jimmy Butler.
I mean, look, we've said the same thing with Tyler for like 3 or 4 years, right? I mean, he is always the hottest topic. And if the Heat do pull off some sort of a big move in the offseason, I think we're all pretty sure that it's going to include Tyler. So yes, if they make a deal that they so desperately want to make and get a star, it's going to have to include Tyler. To your point on Wiggs, that's just a player option situation. And, my gut would be that he won't be back. And then Norm Powell, I don't think is coming back. I mean, he's a free agent. He played well. He got injured and wasn't himself down the stretch. I think he's looking for a payday that I don't think the Heat are going to give him. So yeah, I think that part of the core, but would it shock me if Tyler Hero were back? No, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me only because it takes 2 to tango. And I don't think the Heat would trade Tyler for the sake of trading Tyler. It would have to be something out there that they feel truly makes him a contender. And I say that only from experience, guys, because we see it year in and year out. They've had plenty of opportunities to break up this core and haven't done it because they don't feel that there's that star player that they can get for it, that someone else has said, okay, here's the player, give us these guys.
Well, I said, though, earlier this week, I said no matter what happens, if they don't make it out of the play-in, which they don't, the Heat has to even make lateral trades. They can't come back with this, I think.
I know what you're saying, Hoch, and you're right in the sense of like the theory, but I mean, is anything that they've shown us in the last few years or said proof that they would do that? I don't see it. Now, they could change course. Maybe this is the that's it. Okay, you're right. We got to do something. And they start making moves like that. But that certainly hasn't been their way. Lateral moves has never been their way. They're not looking for singles. They're looking for home runs. And lateral moves are singles that I'm not sure that they've shown the willingness to do.
Is there anybody else than Giannis, Will? Because we say Giannis or whatever, like you're saying, we don't get a top draft pick. We don't get the boozer boy from college. Like, is there anybody else other than Giannis that I should pray for this summer?
Well, look, the Kawhi situation in LA is going to be interesting because there's talk about him possibly trying to get out of there. But Kawhi's 34. He hasn't necessarily been a pillar of health, but when he plays, he's unbelievably productive. We know that. He still plays at a star level. The Heat aren't afraid to take on older stars. We know that from their track record. I think that's a name to, I guess, potentially watch, if anything, if he wants out there. I think the Ja Morant thing will come back around, but it was pretty evident. And I think, Hoch, to your point, I think that would be the lateral move, the kind of like, do you take a chance on a Ja and move on from a Tyler?
Zion.
You know what I mean? Something
Let's
like
get
that.
Zion. Let's get Zion and Ja.
Don't bring in the heavy Chevy.
Listen, I'll take it. I'll take any of it at this point because I think, again, the frustration for Heat fans isn't look, you're going to accept years that you don't win championships. That's part of the process. You're going to accept down years. But when every year feels the same, and in many ways it is because it's similar personnel, I think that's when Heat fans kind of bang their head up against the wall. Like, man, something's got to give. I think we all agree this is the offseason to do it. Let's see if they truly do it, though.
Will, going back to what Hoch was mentioning, lateral changes, I'm with you from the standpoint of I could see Tyler Hero coming back. And I don't think Pat Riley deviates from his course because people on Twitter are mad. I don't feel like that type of stuff impacts that circle of people who are making decisions. Whether it should or shouldn't, by the way, like that's a different conversation. Yeah. But how much realistically do you think Bam Adebayo will have a say or influence decision making? Because last year, the quote that I always remember last year was Bam at the end of that game 4 of Cleveland saying the guy with the silver hair, he's going to be busy this offseason. And well, he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
so everybody's been talking about, Bam's going to ask out, and I don't think there's any truth to that. But I would understand Bam maybe being a bit more forceful in talking to somebody and saying, hey, like I want to compete again.
You're right, except here's the issue. I remember I asked Pat at his year-end press conference a couple of years ago. It was either 2 or 3 years ago. It might have been 2 years ago. I don't think it was last year. It was 2 years ago. Hey, how much does a player to you kind of have that ability to say, hey, this is a guy we need to get. We need to make changes. Can we go after this guy? X, Y, this and that. And Pat kind of laughed at me. And he's like, yeah, no, that's not the way it works. I mean, we make the decisions. Players are going to give their input for everything, but, we make the decisions. So I guess to answer your question, I don't think Pat, we say Pat, and you said the inner circle. You say Pat, Adam, Andy, right, Nick Harrison. I mean, they all have a voice at the table. Spo. There are a lot of voices trying to find what that next step is. And I think they're in agreement that they want a whale. And I think the players like Bam in particular, because let's face it, he's the centerpiece, right? He's in agreement. I think what no one knows is how do you do it? The old days of free agency are dead. That's not going to happen. Trades aren't easy. Teams want draft picks. Are you going to give up? If you hit a lottery pick, are you going to give that up for a Giannis? Is that the move? There are so many questions to be determined in the next month. But to your point on Bam, hell yeah, I'd be frustrated. Bam is this guy that they brought in and said, hey, we want to hang his jersey in the rafters one day. His number on the rafters retired. And he's done everything in his part, including being in 2 NBA Finals teams, to get that done. And yet here he sits stagnant in the prime years of his career, watching this team be mediocre. So if he is frustrated, which I'm not saying he is, he has every right to be.
Will, could who's the Udonis Haslem on this roster? Because I think after the Bam ankle slap, somebody should have went and bowled LaMelo in the chest. How do you feel about that? We have no Bams. We have no UDs.
No, I'm glad you said that because, look, I don't condone violence, but certainly some sort of retaliation wouldn't have been the worst. And that's, I guess the answer is Gardner. Myron Gardner's the guy that they bring on as kind of a tough guy, and he had that incident. Who was it with that he had the incident earlier in the year? I'm getting old. I'm forgetting. There's some pushing and shoving that he wasn't happy about. I forget who it was. But the point is, yeah, they don't really have that guy, Channing. They don't. And I'm surprised that they let Melo just kind of, be Melo the whole game, that there wasn't a little enforcement there, a little extra push, a little extra shove. I'm not talking about take his ankles out, but yeah, I think
especially by halftime when you realize Bam's not coming back in the game.
Yeah. I'll be the 15th player. I'll go out there and bow the hell out of somebody.
I saw people suggesting that Udonis might not be on the
the Prime Video halftime or post-game show because he's driving to Charlotte. He's got some business to
I
take
wish
care
that
of.
was the case. The full circleness of it all, though, that what sucked about last night is you take out our best player, right? You go out and you play like LaMelo. He misses a ton of shots. He plays kind of wild and reckless. But to his credit, he freaking drove to the basket and got the game-winning shot. And there were so many things in those final minutes outside of that were frustrating. Not having Kalel on the floor, Jaime being on an island with Melo. Just so many little things. The Tyler shot, I hate step back threes when you just need one shot.
That was my point last night. Solana jumped down my throat for having that same take.
No, I don't get it, guys, and I get it. Look, that's what you get. But there has to be other options, in my opinion. Like, hey, and you look what's the kid for the Blazers last night that drove to the basket and finished, and they won that game. LaMelo driving to the basket. You got to have that option. The dribble, step back, take a long three, go to overtime just drives me nuts. And if he would have made it, though, we would have played the results and said it was the greatest thing ever. But that's a whole other subject.
Right. No, I'm just with you. When you need to do exactly what you just laid out, even if it's a decent look, just drives me crazy because you need to, and you're not going to get fouled on that play. But
Dishwasher.
Solana was very honey badger. Solana was very upset at me and Jimmy. We're out of time, Will, but quickly. Solana was extremely upset at me and Jimmy last night. Jimmy texted after the game, hate how this game ended, but that was an amazing game. And then I texted, without Bam, no less. Wow, what a game. And Solana just is livid. He's like, I don't need to hear that after that game.
I thought I would have been in the group thread. I would have said it was a great game. It was entertaining. It was a crappy ending, but it was a damn good. It was an entertaining basketball game.
It was a great game.
It was a very.
But
and
Will,
by the way, and again, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I'm not disagreeing with that, but like that goes without saying when it's just like the fellas chopping it up. Obviously, it was an entertaining basketball game. The shots were insane. The chaos at the end, the Heat were out of it, and then they have a lead. Like, obviously, it goes without saying it. That was an entertaining basketball game, but my team just lost in heartbreaking fashion to a guy who hit a game-winning bucket that knocked out my star player earlier in the game and faced zero repercussions for it. And Jimmy and Hoch want to give them credit. Yeah, I'm not having it. I'm not standing
credit. It was a great game.
It was a great, and look, the Kobe White shot was great. I looked at, you know why I didn't feel terrible after it? As much as it sucked and I hated everything about it. It was an entertaining game. They fought hard, but like we said earlier, I guess if you're going to take anything away from our conversation, is this is the team we saw all season. So for them to lose like this is almost like this is what they were, and we knew it was inevitable that this would happen. It happened in the play-in game. It happened in a dramatic game, but the bottom line is this team was never good enough to be more than that, and now they got to figure out a way to get good enough.
I know this goes without saying, Will, but great segment.
Thank you, Hoch. I will be texting you about it, and we'll enjoy it.
All right, fair enough. Will Manso from Local 10. Thanks, Will.
All right.
Cheetah Pompano, that's a great spot to watch a game or a fight. They got VIP areas, 4 stages of entertainment, and the most beautiful ladies in South Florida. And you know, Cheetah Pompano has an amazing complimentary gourmet lunch till 3 p.m. every day. Happy hour specials till 6. Don't forget, if you're planning a bachelor party, there is no better place to have it than Cheetah Pompano or Cheetah Palm Beach. You can get all the details online. You can get the details at the club. You want to watch the play-in games tonight? You can do that at Cheetah Pompano or Cheetah Palm Beach. Every day is a great day at Cheetah Pompano Beach. Make sure you visit Cheetah Palm Beach as well. You can get all the details at cheetahsofl.com.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Woke up this morning, got me some gabagool. Then I woke up the next day and got some gabagool.
and eat delicious
Hey, coach.
energy. Bring the whole family. Up to 2 kids ages 15 and under getting free with a ticketed adult.
Coach, can you hear me?
.com.
Hi, Joe Zagacki here for Williamson Cadillac. Miami moves to it.
Hey, Coach L. I don't hear you, bud. Do you hear me?
Let's check it if it's on. I put it on one. Okay.
I'm not getting any audio from your headset. So double check. No. Are you sure the headset is connected?
In South Florida. Prom season and wedding season are coming up, and you want your wardrobe looking right for your formal night. Let A&T Dry Cleaners handle it for you. They have a seamstress on site to get your clothes fit perfectly with alterations and same-day sewing. Just call or text our guy, Ira, at 954-610-9383. Mention Tobin and Leroy and get 25% off your order. A&T Dry Cleaners.
Plus tax, tag, title, and $8.99 dealer fee and approved credit for return policy. See dealer for details. Down payment varies with severity of credit.
Amazing Used Car Center is now the official #1 volume used car dealer. Get amazing prices on over 900 economy, family, luxury, and convertible cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced from just $44.98. You heard right. Over 900 used vehicles priced from $44.98. Every vehicle is inspected, serviced, and ready to go with a balance of the factory new car warranty and a 30-day return policy for your peace of mind. No social, no credit, no problem. Everyone is pre-approved. Got a trade? We want to pay it off, regardless of what you owe. At the #1 volume used car dealer, Amazing Used Car Center on 441, just south of Sheridan Street. #1 based on total Pogue vehicle registrations January through August 2025 in the South.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior.
Can you hear me now?
Visit HyundaiUSA.com.
Yes, you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you hear me?
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com.
Okay, I can hear you.
Straightforward.
No, I'm talking to you on the phone.
I know it. I can hear you on the phone.
Okay.
2026
Okay, so now you have to click on the sound settings
This
again.
is the story of the
Which,
one.
yeah, but you got to explain sound settings. Is it the one that looks like gears?
Network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Granger to be her single source for
Go to
thousands.
audio.
From disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Every
I'm
facility
not
is
on
stocked,
Logi here.
safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Get it done.
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
No.
Farm. It's like needing a best man speech, but getting one from some random +1.
I am honored to be standing here today. Also confused and a little hungry. Does anyone want to?
I've done what I've
Pretty sure I
been doing.
checked beef.
You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance.
It says
The real
echo
deal.
cancellation. I
Likely
clicked
to
on
name
that.
State Farm is there.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy
Yeah, I've done that.
Staples has hundreds of great ways to boost your brand.
I'm going to try again.
Signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus.
Can you hear me?
April 8th.
I can hear you, but
I
you
can't
don't
hear
me,
you.
Correct? You don't hear me?
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand.
Yeah, I'll join you as quick as I can.
We launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development.
Hey, Hawk, we've just moved up some spots. Like, we've been at this.
I was texting Jimmy. I'm like, you got to bring us back because we just can't be this late.
I've been at this for 10 minutes. If not, I'll call him, okay? So
just have him reconnect his browser. Sometimes that works.
Right, that's what I'm having him do. We're coming back right now, okay?
Yeah.
Has produced tremendous.
You got me, Coach?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Awesome. All right, just stand by right there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. It's AmericanEagle.com.
I mean,
he is not in the mood for this today.
If Coach was teaching somebody the 2-3 zone, and every time he taught them the 2-3 zone, they forgot where to stand. They stood on the other side of the court. He would be upset sometimes.
Home of the five-time national champion Miami Hurricanes.
Nothing of the sort.
Cup champion Florida Panthers. The three-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the two-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Those of you who watch the show on the YouTube stream, you get a thrill every Wednesday during the commercial break before the 3 o'clock hour, because that's when Solana gets Coach L connected. But today was a day that it couldn't go wrong because Solana's on edge today, Coach. His nerves are frayed after last night, and we're coming back now. It's 3:06 in the afternoon already because Solana spent a good 12 minutes with Coach Larenega trying to get him connected and be able to hear us. And Solana's beside himself. And he said, Coach, I don't know if you heard him off the air. He said, hey, if you were trying to teach me a 2-3 defense every week and every Wednesday I got out there and seemingly I didn't know how to play a 2-3 defense, you'd be frustrated as well. What do you have to say to Solana that it took him so long to get you connected again today?
No, Solana, thank you for connecting me because I got a bone to pick with you guys. I'm with Solana. There's winning and there's death, right? The Miami Heat should be moving on and playing. They should have won last night. They got totally screwed. LaMelo Ball, he did a dirty play. Do you remember Zaza Pachulia?
Yeah.
What he did? He took a Kawhi Leonard out by going underneath him, and the NBA had to come back and make a new rule. Now anybody gets bumped in the air, man, it's a foul, right? I don't know if the NBA and Adam Silver have to come up with a new rule that if I deliberately trip you and take you out of the game, whether you're the best player or just a player, that's dangerous. As long as he's sitting out, you have to sit out. Because that was nasty. And in the NBA needs to change the rule. Why can't they go to the video? Why not? They can go to the video any other time. The next time there's a dead ball, go to the video, look at it, and say to yourself, that's definitely at least a flagrant one. And as long as Bam is out, so is LaMelo Ball.
That, I think, is a brilliant idea, and that's been proposed.
That's because I'm smart. I know this stuff.
Right. Here's the point, because I think we're all in agreement on that. What I take issue with is Solana being cantankerous that I say, wow, what a game. I wouldn't have texted that to Spo, and I wouldn't have texted that to you after a Canes game that ended your season. But what did Solana do? He was listening to it on the radio with the rest of us. So for me to say what a game to him, I didn't think was a big deal. He's not the coach of the team.
Wait a minute. Solana, you were listening on radio and not watching on TV?
I mean, it's part of the radio broadcast, Coach. I'm trying to pump up the pre-heat and post-heat here. Work with me, Coach.
All right.
Coach,
I'm sorry.
There's no chance you were able to get that game yourself on Prime Video. Who had to help you yesterday get that? We know your technological constraints.
Yeah.
Who was able to find that game for you?
But no, I watched the game. I don't know how I got it. I mean, it's streamed or something. But when you watch the game and you see here's one thing, and Adam Silver, I don't know if he can take a bow for this or not. There's been so much criticism about play-in, but that game was worth the price of admission, man.
It was a great game.
Oh my goodness! You're talking that shot Kobe White hit. Oh my!
Solana left the whole show. He's tired of hearing.
I don't blame him.
It was a good game.
I got a question. Did that cost Solana? Crowder already said it cost him a lot of money. Solana, did that cost you money?
Yes.
Yes. So hey.
But coach, I'm not upset because of that. I understand it was a great game, but I'm with you. Like, there's winning and there's misery when you're a fan of a team. And Hoch and Crowder, God bless them, they're different. As long as that that check hits on the Hard Rock Bet app, they're okay. Everything's okay with them.
Good by me.
Yeah, and I don't live that way. Like my team
live that way.
Had 2 opportunities in regulation, a 5-point lead with 28 seconds to go, and then in overtime, a 1-point lead with 8 seconds to go to win a must-win game, and they lost it both times. Yeah, I'm beaten up over it today, 100%.
Yeah, I feel the same way you do. When you're invested and you're not really cheering for both teams or just sitting there as a neutral third party, when you're invested, you want your team to win. It's like when I'm watching the University of Miami play and I'm sitting courtside and I'm sitting there as a fan. I'm no longer the coach, but I want the Hurricanes to win. And after the game, okay, I'm not as torn up as I was when I was the head coach, but I feel bad because I can relate to how those coaches and players are feeling. And last night, I could definitely feel the anxiety and the stress that Spo was feeling after the game when he had a chance to look at what LaMelo Ball did to his best player and the impact that had on his team, not just for that one game, but it's the whole season. Because you win that game, you don't know what's going to happen next. You know, you play in Orlando, maybe one of their, Banchero gets hurt and you're able to beat them and you move on. And, hey, maybe you go on a run and you play great and you're in the NBA Finals in 2 weeks. So,
yeah. And, Coach, did it warrant a elimination from the game? Because that's the thing. I lost a lot of money last night. I had Bam over rebounds.
I have to correct. If you had it on Hard Rock Bet, they wiped those bets out.
No, they did not. I lost.
They absolutely do. If a player gets injured in the first half, those prop bets on that player become null and void.
It was in a parlay.
Yeah, but that leg of the parlay is voided. So if you lost one of the next 2 legs or whatever, you lost the parlay. But if it's a 3-leg parlay, the BAM part gets voided. It's one of the protections that they put in so players can't fix games is that they void. Yeah, but then you must have lost the parlay.
No, I did not. Hawk, look. I have LaMelo Ball over 22.5, and I have Bam over 20.5, and I lost that bet because Bam did not get to 20.5.
No, that's not possible.
I'm looking at it.
Hey, all I know is that's 2 experts fighting. That's like two guys.
But I'm never wrong.
Should he have been ejected? Because I lost money. We're arguing about that. I lost money, Coach. But with that, should he have been ejected from the game? Even if they stopped it, like you're saying, an ejection, I think was too far.
Okay, I just think it's such a dirty play, and if the Hornets benefit from a dirty play, they should have been penalized for a dirty play. Mm-hmm. Now, what should the penalty be? It's at least the flagrant one. But if the NBA sub-official who's sitting at the clock and watching the video, or the people back in the studio are watching that video, they should be saying and delivering the message to the officials who are doing the game, hey, at the next dead ball, stop it. forced them to take LaMelo out, and he's out as long as Bam is out, because that was dirty and you could hurt a player. And that's why they have that Zaza Pachulia rule now, because you don't want your best players getting hurt.
By the way, for those who might just be joining us or don't listen every week, Coach Jim Larenega joins us on Wednesdays. He's the winningest head coach in Hurricanes men's basketball history, and we love talking hoops with him. When we talk about losing your player for the game, we had brought up, and again, we're not condoning violence here, but the Heat, I would say at halftime, know that Bam's not coming back and that LaMelo didn't even get a foul on the play. Isn't it up to someone on the Heat to maybe let them know that we know and that's not cool with us?
Yeah, we should have gotten someone out of the stands. We got some good fans. The next time he went in for a layup, some guy that sits on the wood, right underneath the basket, come out and undercut his butt.
But doesn't some player
and then let him throw the fan out? That's okay. We don't worry about that.
Some player on the Heat kind of have to step to him just to kind of check him a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Do you remember? You got to go back to the Lakers when Kurt Rambis took out. Who was it? Who did he clotheslined again when they played the Celtics in the playoffs? And then the next time down, one of the Celtics just wiped out like James Worthy or somebody.
Looking it up.
But it's Tyler Hansborough fouling Dwayne Wade hard, and Udonis Haslem just punching him in the face on the next possession and getting ejected in a playoff game. But UD understood the assignment, and he was going to have his boys back. And I'm not suggesting Tyler Hero should have gotten himself tossed from the game. But the idea that nobody is going to, at the very least, inflict some sort of hard foul on LaMelo Ball on the numerous opportunities they have of him driving to the paint after he made that illegal, dirty play that wasn't a basketball play that cost their captain, their emotional leader, the entire opportunity to play in that game, to me, is disappointing as a Heat fan. How does nobody step to LaMelo Ball and just hard foul when he's coming across the middle? Somebody has to be in that situation.
You don't want Tyler Hero to do that. First of all, he's not big enough to really hit anybody too hard. He weighs like a $150. But what you're saying, Solana, is really, really true. You have to have an enforcer. And that guy, whether it's Maurice Lucas with the Portland Trailblazers, if anyone messes with Bill Walton, they got to face the wrath of Maurice Lucas. And there's been guys throughout the history of the game. Hey, to talk about the Heat, I know you were talking to Will earlier. If I asked you guys to go back in time, now some of you are probably too young to remember, could you name the Showtime Lakers with Pat Riley? Could you name their starting five?
Magic, Worthy,
Kareem. Magic, Worthy, Kareem. Who am I missing? Jamal Wilkes.
McAdoo.
1 year McAdoo. You had Michael Cooper and Byron Scott. Yeah, you can name those guys.
Kurt Rambis closeline was Kevin McHale.
When he was the enforcer.
Kevin McHale closeline Kurt Rambis. That's the closeline.
Yeah, Kevin McHale. So can you name the Celtics with Larry Bird?
Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson,
Bob
Kevin
Cousy.
McHale, Robert Parrish,
Danny Ainge.
So,
okay, so 5 years from now, will you be able to do that with the Miami Heat team of the last 3 or 4 years?
Oh, I couldn't do it next week.
Yeah, and but you could do it for LeBron's team, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the difference. Right now, to win a championship, what the OKC might do in repeating as champion is you can almost name their starting lineup years after the championship year. And that's what we're missing right now. We have almost a different starting lineup, a lot of it due to injuries. Tyler Hero was out 3/4 of the game in the months of October, November, and December. And then you have Norman Powell out late in the season. When you're missing your key players for long periods of time, that's a real problem trying to win a championship or advance in the playoffs. And you could just see it in one game. Solana, who's the star guard for the Indiana Pacers who got hurt last year in Game 7?
Halliburton?
Yeah, Halliburton. So Halliburton gets hurt. Pacers lose. Had SGA gotten hurt, we'd be talking about the Pacers being the world champions. So, injuries play such a big role, and there's no way to predict injury. But when you see a player get hurt because of a nasty, dirty play, there's got to be some punishment for that.
And Coach, speaking of those enforcers, you bring up Rambis and Udonis Haslem, what he did as a head coach, knowing it. I don't know why Norchad Omier keeps popping up in my mind as an enforcer, because I'm just scared of him as a human. But like as a head coach, is there any conversation of, okay, he took a shot, hey, you know what to do?
Well, fortunately, we did not have a lot of situations like that. We had a couple, but not when Norchad was with us. A few years back, playing against, you guys remember Grayson Allen, who played at Duke? Yeah, he was kind of that way. And there's a few other players. Back in the day when I was at George Mason, there was a player at UNC Wilmington who jumped on the back of one of our players, and the referees didn't even call a foul. The guy had the ball. He was getting ready to shoot a layup, and he did. You ever play Johnny Rides a Pony where you jump on the guy's back? That's what it was like. It was like a piggyback ride.
Yeah.
And the refs didn't call a foul.
You ever get in a fight when you were playing, Coach?
One time, my senior year, the only game we lost my senior year in high school. You guys won't remember because you're way too young, but there was a player at Rice High School, played at Fordham, played for the Portland Trailblazers, played in Italy for many years. Name is Charlie Yelverton. We were seniors together. I was at Archbishop Malloy. He was at Rice High School. We were undefeated. They had one loss, and we played them in the New York City semifinals. I was sick as a dog. I was not feeling good. My father didn't even want me to go to the game. I had 103 temperature. I played my worst game in high school. I only had 9 points. And in the last minute of play, we were down 9, and Charlie came over my back trying to get a rebound. I got the rebound, and he knocked it out of bounds, and I turned and punched him in the face.
That escalated.
I got thrown out of the game, but I was so frustrated.
That just seemed like it was like a hard rebound.
No, it was, it was one of those spur of the moment decisions that I look back on and say, hey, we win, I don't throw that. If we're winning, I don't throw that punch. Means nothing.
Charlie doesn't want anything now. You taught Charlie a lesson.
Charlie learned his lesson. Crowder, check your Hard Rock app and see if that wager now is available as a bonus bet.
I just sent you the
No.
screenshot.
But now see if you have a bonus bet of that amount.
Let me see.
You know how to find your bonus bets?
I do not.
Yeah, it's like.
See, you're not the expert I thought you were, Crowder.
Well, it's like you with
you got to listen to Crowder. He's your head coach.
I'll show you later. I think you probably have that wager as a bonus bet. Let's do headlines here real quick because I want to talk more Heat with Coach L. So let's do a quick look at the headlines. Brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com.
Coach, are you nervous for tonight's game? Your Clippers are going to host the Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry is back, but obviously the Clippers, they're the higher seed. They're
big favorites.
Expected to win today.
5.5 point favorites I saw.
Yeah, favorites, the gamblers, they set those odds, but the players have to play the game, and the coaches have to coach and figure out a way. And if Steph Curry goes off, or the reverse, if Kawhi Leonard has one of those games where he's unstoppable, if somebody goes off for 40 or 50 points and leads his team to victory, that's winning. And if you lose that game, that's death. There's no tomorrow. In the NCAA tournament, it's win in advance, lose and go home. And in the NBA, it's normally a 7-game series, except with this new format of having a play-in. And it's a treat for the fans because the Clippers now have a home game. If not, they wouldn't be playing.
Coach Larenega's son, by the way, is a coach on the Clippers, if you don't know. Would you call him tonight after the game if they win, and would you call him if they lost?
No, I don't do that. If they win, I'll text him, but I'm not calling. He's got a lot of things to do. After a win, he's got to get ready for the next game immediately. There's no thought of, okay, we won, let's celebrate. No. Hey, who are we playing next? What do we have to do to beat them? If he loses, he's like me. He doesn't want to hear from anybody. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want anybody to say, like Solana was saying, oh, it was really a good game. Who the hell wants to hear that after a loss? Come on.
Happened to be a great game, though.
It was a good game.
Yeah, I don't take losing well, Coach. Just in life. Anything. It could be anything. I don't take losing well.
About?
Solana, you've lost your whole life.
And here I am.
Who do you think you are?
I don't take losing well, Coach. I don't. I don't. I never have.
Urinal.
Hey, you know that expression, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing Crowder did as a Dolphin is lose. So you can't expect them to really take losses too hard anymore,
Hey, Coach L, number 6 in Dolphins tackle all time.
That is true. Solana, honorable mention, all dayed 4th team in a category that didn't exist. We found out.
Middle school.
Yeah, as a sophomore, though, Coach. I think that's an important caveat.
What's the news? Hey, Solana, give me some scoop.
On me as honorable mention?
The headlines. Even Coach knows we need to move this along.
Magic Sixers tonight, 7:30. That's the other playing game. The winner is a 7 seed, and then the Suns did lose to the Blazers yesterday, so the winner of tonight's Clippers-Warriors game will play the Phoenix Suns on Friday in Phoenix. The Marlins, they do play tonight. They're going to try to rebound after blowing it yesterday. They can still win the series in Atlanta. Tonight's first pitch is at 7:15. The Panthers will end their regular season tonight. They host the Red Wings at 7 p.m. from Amerant Bank Arena.
By the way, did you see John Eric Sullivan met with the media today?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that he said Devon Achane is off the table in a trade.
Don't ask.
And that they're working on an extension with him.
Okay, perfect. Because he's.
Hey, did you guys watch the Masters?
I did.
Yes.
What an ending, huh?
That was amazing.
Yeah, Rory's special.
He is special.
You know who his coach is, right?
No.
His mental coach, Bob Rotella, my really good friend.
That's your guy.
Yeah. He works with Rory, and I was texting with Bob, and he was talking to Rory the whole weekend. And Rory, it got a little nervous at the end when he bogeyed that last hole, but thank goodness he had a 2-shot lead. And Sky Scheffler was livid. He missed that little putt. What was that, on 17? Oh, man.
I'm imagining the Masters was a big topic of conversation at the table of knowledge. That seems like
was.
Right in the table of knowledge's wheelhouse.
Yeah, we have leadership at the table of knowledge. My man Earl and Denny are kind of the captains of the table of knowledge. And I sit with my main man, Gary Berman. He and I normally sit together because Gary is a very, very smart guy when it comes to sports. We were talking about the portal. You guys know the portal opened up, and the money that these college basketball coaches and the universities are spending on the players out of the portal. They say Carolina's offering a guy from Wake Forest $5 million.
What's the team salary? Do you know, like, the average team salary?
Well, it's my understanding that the top teams last year, if you go to the Sweet 16, all those teams were spending in excess of $10 million. It's more than that now.
Man,
there are players being offered $5 million. So
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's going to continue that way until we get some legislation.
Yeah.
Got to
which
have
they
some
will.
rules. There are no rules right now.
Yeah.
And you can't enforce whatever rules you make. So the schools are just running wild, spending whatever money they think they need to spend to win.
Sounds like my wife.
Not my wife. My wife doesn't spend money at all.
Yeah, we know. She flies coach while you fly first
Yeah,
class.
exactly. She's
Coach,
budgeting.
I was NILing before NIL was NIL. So
Were you ever in the portal?
no, I didn't
Were
go
you
in
at
the portal.
Florida the whole time?
Florida the whole. I was there 2 years. I found a loophole and left as a sophomore.
Get out. How'd you do that?
Because it was 2 years. They moved it to 2 years in one day after me and Pac-Man Jones, Ahmad Carroll. It was like 5 or 6 of us that figured out a way to kind of buck the system and leave as sophomores.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was in the portal, but that was the back room at the strip club in Gainesville. They called it the portal.
Yeah, coach.
Hey, Crowder likes to have a good time. I know that.
And he does.
Coach, we used to have to get our NILs in FedEx boxes. Now they just put a direct deposit.
Right. Most people back in his day were paid NIL in like a manila envelope filled with cash.
Your weather right now in South Florida, it's 79 degrees. Still, it's not warm. What's going on? I don't know what the hell's going on.
Love it.
Tonight, the lows will be in the low 70s. That weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping keep your home and family safe when the storms roll in. Visit tornadoroofing.com for your free roof and window estimate.
All right, we have plenty more Miami Heat to talk about with Jim Larenega in the next segment, so don't go anywhere. I want to tell you first about my good friends and the amazing award-winning team at Doral Kia. Whenever you want a low price, you always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Take advantage of a Pricito now on all your favorite new Kia models like a Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, K5, Soul, and more. Don't wait. Hurry to Doral Kia today. We hurried. The Hochmans hurried to Doral Kia when my son wanted to get a new Kia. He had a Kia Forte, wrecked it, wanted another Kia. And it wasn't his fault, by the way. And he wanted another Kia. We went to Doral Kia. Mitchell, the king of Kias, and his staff took great care of us. And DJ ended up with a Kia K4. And I'm telling you, if you're in the market for a Kia, Mitchell and his great staff at Doral Kia will take great care of you as well. Don't miss your chance to save on a new Kia or shop any of their pre-owned vehicles with easy financing, fast service, and the best value for your money, because you always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Yeah. Hey, Michael Kratzy from Choice Mortgage
Good song, Jimmy. Who's that, Berlin?
Yes, it is.
Excellent song choice. Jim Larenega, head coach of the University of Miami for many, many successful seasons, is eating Thin Mints while we do this segment. You know how I feel about Girl Scout cookies, Coach.
I know. That's why I'm doing it, to aggravate you.
Really? We're kindred spirits.
Get him, Coach.
Unbelievable. You're having cookies and water? It's a terrible combination.
Yeah, well, you guys were giving Solana such a hard time, so I figured Solana needed a teammate to help him out.
You needed to take some of the
I give you guys some grief to take Solana off the hook for at least a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because you're a coach. Con Knipple stunk last night. He was awful. And he ended up on the bench at the end and through overtime. I don't think he played a minute in overtime, did he, Solana?
No,
he did not.
He didn't get in.
Is that a tough decision for a coach to make? Because he's potentially the rookie of the year. And I wonder in that moment, I love, by the way, playing the hot hand and not worrying about those who are not hot. And I wish that would happen more. I think sometimes coaches get too entrenched in rotations or whatever. Obviously, a one and done is different. But is that something you consider? Am I damaging his psyche moving forward because he's on the bench in what's a crucial situation? I'm wondering if you would have made that same decision.
Well, first of all, I think they did the right thing because they won. And that's what it comes down to. There's winning and then there's go home. So I can't remember the coach of the Hornets' name.
Charles Lee.
Yeah, Charles Lee came from the Boston Celtics. I remember now. And Charles Lee had big decisions to make and who you play. So did Spo. One of the challenges a coach has is, hey, when I go to the bench, who can I find that's going to really give us a lift? Davion Mitchell was sensational. Now, he started last night, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
And, okay, he started, so maybe you can't use him as the example. But normally Norman Powell would have been out there, and, okay, he didn't start. But those are the decisions coaches have to make. Who starts, who subs, who do I stick with, who do I take out? And one of the things as a coach, you find the right combination of players that you think can win you the game, you stick with them.
And Coach, talking about coaching, I asked actually John Crotty yesterday about this, where like the great coaches, where in football, Andy Reid has a play. It's called, they call it Tom and Jerry, where it's like a motion squirrel route, but it's hard to cover. As a basketball coach, can you like keep a play in your back pocket for 8 seconds and whatever, or inbound pass like that they've never seen before? Can you have that special play that I know I can get two off this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, you probably have to have several like that, right? Because especially in basketball, you have so many end-of-game situations. You know, here's a perfect example. Last night, there's 8 seconds to go, and the Hornets score with 4 seconds to go, but the Heat don't have a timeout. If they had a timeout, they would have called the timeout and got the ball to midcourt. So Davion Mitchell, he has to catch the inbounds pass, and you saw how quickly they rifled it into him, and he gets it on the gallop, goes right to the rim, and the Hornets, you got to give Bridges credit. Was it Bridges or was it Miller who blocked the shot?
It was Bridges.
Yeah, Bridges blocks the shot at the buzzer. It could have been maybe the refs call a foul. Maybe he makes the shot. Maybe someone tips that miss in. There's just so many things that happen, and you have to actually prepare long before the season begins as to how we're going to handle those situations. I'm not a football guy, you know that, but I read Bill Walsh's book. Do you remember? You know the book?
I can't read.
You know his book?
I can't read, Coach.
You can't read? Okay, so I'll read it to you. It's called The Score Takes Care of Itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with end-of-game situations. And it talks about your preparation and how Joe Montana knows exactly what he needs to do. And Jerry Rice knows exactly what they're going to do at the end of these games, in the 2-minute drill when they get in the red zone. And basically that's what coaches do with their players, basketball coaches. You got to have a play that suits each situation. Do you need a 2? Do you need a 3? Last night the score was tied. And as Solana mentioned, Tyler Hero shot a step-back 3. And Hoch, who knows a tremendous amount about basketball, he said, hey, you can't get fouled on that shot. All of that is true.
Yeah. I thought it was a terrible shot choice when you only need 2.
For me, if I'm the coach and he takes that shot and doesn't make it, I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. Come on, what are you doing?
Even if it's a good look, which it was a decent look, but you just don't need that in that situation.
No, he can make that shot. But is that the very best shot they could get to win a game and move on? And the answer to me is, Tyler, you're better than that. You settled for that shot. You have a lot of confidence in yourself. You took and made an incredible 3 in the overtime. But this is a game winner. The guys who Michael Jordan is not shooting a step-back 3. LeBron's not shooting a step-back 3. Kobe not shooting a step-back 3.
Wade shooting a step.
They're taking the ball to the rim, either score or getting fouled, and they're not getting interrupted by Hoch when they're talking. So,
Coach, to that point, though, quickly, like where I played for Charlie Strong at Florida, and he was a guy like we sat and met for hours every week about the game plan, and he was very aggressive, and I knew in those situations he was going to call Tracer. I still remember the call. It's an all-out 8-man blitz. Does Lonnie and Shane Larkin and Bruce Brown, do those guys know that whatever would okay, 4 seconds left? I know Coach L's about to call this play.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, what I would do is, okay, we're playing Virginia. There's like 7 seconds left, and I call a timeout, and as I call the team over, I stop Shane Larkin, and I just said, hey, what do you want to run? And he just said, give me the double ball screen and let me make the decision. And he ended up using the ball screens, hitting Reggie Johnson on a roll, and Reggie laid it in for the win. In the NCAA tournament, we played Illinois, and there was under a minute to play. We call a timeout. I asked Shane Larkin, what do you want to run? He said, give me the double ball screen. Most every point guard wants that double screen. We were at Florida. Angel Rodriguez called for the same play. Just give me the ball and let me score. And he hit a 3 to win it. So your players kind of know from the way practices are. When we needed a bucket at the end of the game, our Final Four team, I call a timeout and I would say, hey, run horns, which is, again, 2 ball screens. And then as we left the huddle, I just turned to Isaiah Wong. And I said, hey, look, just score. Don't worry about what we're running. Just score. And he would score. I think the problem is when your players have to try to execute a play, now you rely on the defense, executing against a really good defense. So give it to your best player and let him score.
But I think that's what Eric Spoelstra was doing there just in that instance. Coach, the only thing I don't take issue with the shot. I think Tyler Hero, top of the key, a foot back from the 3-point line. He created his own separation. Like, I thought he had a great look. He just missed it. The only thing I take issue with is that you run a floppy screen, you run a ghost screen, you run some sort of action to just create some chaos. Tyler doesn't have to use it if he doesn't want to. That's the only thing I take issue there. Like, everybody stood in the corner, no movement of the offense. Tyler waited till there was 3 seconds left. He took a step back and he missed the shot. Like, run something just to confuse the defense a little bit.
One of the things you can expect at the end of the games, which did happen, is you set a ball screen and they switch. So they did that. I know that's not a lot of deception, but they set it so that you can get a weaker defender on your best player. So what the Hornets did, though, they subbed. They try to put in their best defenders so that in a switch you don't get beat, because the Heat went small. They were playing small ball at the end. All their ball handlers, all their shooters in the game all at the same time. And the Hornets did the same thing. They tried to match up with them so that the switch didn't hurt the Hornets nearly as much as it could have had they left one of their big guys in the game and the big guy tried to switch on to him. And then you attack the big. He can't guard a guard. You get a better look than I think the one Tyler got. But I think you're right. You know, these guys are so talented and so skilled. Tyler Hero believed he was going to make the shot. And you got to trust your best players to win the game for you.
It burned the Heat, by the way, because on that last in overtime, the last bucket, Coach Spo had Khalil Ware, your 7-foot rim protector who played a hell of a game yesterday, probably his best performance in a Heat jersey ever, had him on the bench, and the game-winning bucket was a wide-open layup. LaMelo just burned Jaime Jaquez Jr. one-on-one.
I was going to ask you about that before we run out of time. The LaMelo drive there to win the game. Like, what did you make of that?
The one he traveled on? Was that the one he traveled on? Or was the one?
No, that was the one prior.
Yeah,
that one.
What'd you make of him just blowing by Jaime Jaquez Jr.? There's no help, and they take the lead.
Yeah, there's a coach's dilemma. So if today someone helped off last night and LaMelo, who's a terrific passer, finds the open man and they hit a three, what would we be talking about today? Why did he help? All right. Because even though they scored and went ahead, we still had 4 seconds. We pushed it up. We got a layup. They made the great defensive play with a help defender, and we weren't able to do that because we're afraid of giving up the wide open three.
Poor defense by Jaime?
You know, again, this is what I would say. We had a switch, and when you switch, now you have kind of a mismatch, a guard on a bigger player. And the bigger player is for sure at a disadvantage.
He got beat, but poor defense, like, good luck staying in front of LaMelo Ball, anybody. You know what I mean? Like, Davion Mitchell, he
got beat the last time.
Davion Mitchell beat everybody one-on-one, beat LaMelo Ball how many times? Like, good luck staying in front of these quick ball handlers now in the NBA without any sort of help behind you with any rim protection. Like, you know, but you're right.
That's my point about
result, right.
That's my point. My point about Tyler. He could have done that. He could have just beat his man and got to the rim, and he's a great free throw shooter. Shoots like 92% from the foul line.
Yeah.
Get to the foul line, get a layup, get an easy shot, and if you get close to the basket and the guy defends you, shoot that little turnaround jumper that you're great at. So,
if we're gonna blame Jaime for anything, the Heat had a 4-point lead. He missed a free throw.
Yeah.
He missed a free throw. He split the free throws. It would have put them up 5 instead of 4. Brandon Miller hits that in right before the Kobe White shot. Brandon Miller hit a 3 that was just as good as the Kobe White one. It only brought them to within 1, though. And then Tyler Hero hits 2 free throws. But prior to that, Jaime could have made it a 5-point lead rather than a 4-point lead, and he split the free throws. If we're gonna blame Jaime for anything, at that point, 28 seconds to go, you have to make both free throws. You have to.
Okay, so I'm never one that looks at it and says, okay, we can blame him or blame someone else. It's really about fix the problem. And I think for the Miami Heat right now, fixing the problem means the roster of trying to improve. There's so many good players, so many good young players in the draft this year. We're in the lottery, right? We pick around 13th.
If the Suns lose,
if the number 1 overall, if things go well.
I mean, we don't know
ping pong balls.
You don't know what's going to happen in the draft, and you don't know what's going to happen with trades. But I think the answer is, fix the problem. Whatever we think the problem is, whatever Pat Riley and Spo sit down and they decide, hey, look, this is our issue. We need a superstar. We need a better bench. We need more size. We need better three-point shooting. Whatever the issue is that they look at, evaluate, and decide, then you go about preparing for your next season. We tried the up-tempo game. Did that work? Do we want to stay with that? Do we want to adjust? We had to play a lot of zone. All right? Do we want to find a combination of players that are great defensively? One of the reasons I thought the Pacers made it to the finals last year is their man-to-man defense, full court pressure. They had T.J. McConnell picking up full court and dogging for the whole season. I mean, it was incredible defense. They weren't zoning. Now, they did zone every once in a while, but it was the defense that led them to the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat have big decisions to make. And the Charlotte Hornets are celebrating, but if they lose, when do they play? Friday? Tomorrow night?
Yeah, Friday.
If they lose tomorrow night, they're going to feel just like the Heat. Because there's only one winner in this. There's only one team that celebrates. You get to the NBA Finals and lose, it's death. You're not saying to yourself, "Oh, we had a great year. We got to the finals." No.
Yeah, if it's a good game and a good series, you celebrate that. Coach, how many of those Thin Mints can you knock down in one sitting? Will you knock down that entire sleeve?
I'm sorry you interrupted my Thin Mints. We came back on the air too quickly. I didn't realize we were coming back on.
Will you knock down that entire sleeve?
Oh, yeah.
In one sitting?
No, I didn't have much lunch today. I had some eggs sunny side up and a couple of sausages, and that was it.
How are you going to watch the Clippers game tonight? You have popcorn with
Nervously.
you, pizza, anything?
Yeah, no, I normally have a big scoop of Breyer's ice cream.
Oh.
You guys like ice cream?
I haven't eaten ice cream. I just don't eat it just because I try to watch myself, and I think I'm lactose intolerant all of a sudden. But if I was eating ice cream, I think it would be Ben & Jerry's or Haagen-Dazs. I don't think it would be Breyer's.
There's something called fish food. Have you ever heard of fish food?
Yeah, that's Ben & Jerry's, right?
Oh, my goodness. My daughter gets it, and I eat up everything she
Breyer's sounds like a discount brand, Coach.
Not according to my wife. She does the shopping, and Breyer's is the most expensive brand, but she knows I love it. So,
are you drinking Czech Cola? Is there Czech Cola in your fridge?
No. What is that?
And some discount brand. I think that's Winn-Dixie.
And what is fish food?
It's a ice cream brand or ice cream
fish food.
It's a flavor. It's a Ben & Jerry's flavor.
It's a flavor.
Yeah, you got to try it, Coach. It's delicious.
Does it taste like fish?
No.
No, it's
marshmallow.
Is it
what's your flavor? What's your flavor of Breyer's?
Is that what?
Which flavor of Breyer's do you get?
Mint chocolate chip.
No, it's a terrible flavor.
Mint chocolate chip is
Coach, it's
amazing.
Mint's for make your breath smell good. It's not for eating like consumption. It's for make your breath smell good.
Yeah, and what does fish food do? Make your breath smell good?
Yeah, he's got
you get to smell like a dolphin or a whale or maybe
he's
salmon.
Got you there, Crowder.
Marshmallows.
He's got
marshmallows.
Coach, we love you. Enjoy the game tonight. I hope it's a good game. That's all I'm hoping for, that it's a good game, and I'll text you afterwards.
I'm hoping for a win. I don't care how good or bad it is.
Win or lose after that game, I'm going to text you. At least it was a good game. All right?
Yeah. Hey, Solana, don't be texting me tonight and say, well, I'm sorry they lost, but it was a good game.
Absolutely not, Coach. Trust me. Absolutely not.
Solana has lived by that. There's winning and there's death. Solana has said that for the 10 years I've known him. Or maybe just today.
All right.
Just started it today.
I'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
See you next Wednesday. There you go. Coach Larenega. We'll take a break. 4 o'clock hour. It's going to start a little bit late because we went long here. 4 o'clock hour is next.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana show.
You guys see new Mozart is dropping soon?
He's dead.
Come and move that in my
All
direction.
right, here we go. 4 o'clock hour. I will start with the stock market report so we can get back on the clock here. That's sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Dow Jones down 72 points, which is really nothing, and S&P 500 was up 55 points. That's almost 1%. And the NASDAQ up 376 points, up over 1.5%. So pretty decent day on Wall Street. We do 15 minutes of heat here, but it's been 4 hours of heat today. Well, it's been 3 hours and 8 minutes, and it's been 2 hours and 8 minutes, but it'll be 4 hours of heat by the time we're all said and done. That's brought to you by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. You can visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. By the way, speaking of the heat, Ira Winderman points out on Twitter, heat exit interviews will be Thursday. That's tomorrow. And he says the players were gracious with their time following Tuesday night's game, and we wait to hear from Bam Adebayo about his devastating end to the season. So first opportunity to hear from Bam will be tomorrow during the heat exit interviews. Before we get headlines and then get to Zack Gelb this hour, I want to remind everybody WQAM's Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars, presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall, returns Friday, May 8th, and we invite you to come out. The entire QAM staff will be there at Tabacón Cigars and Spirits at Plantation Walk. You can enjoy a nice Scotch whiskey from Johnny Walker and a smooth cigar from Drew Estate. The event is free. You just come on out, and you can get all the info at WQAM.com. Got to be 21 or older. It's May 8th. Tabacón Cigars and Spirits at Plantation Walk. Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars, presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall. 4 brands, 1 location. Your local Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Chevy dealer. And our Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars events are always fun. They've been at Tabacón. It's a great place. And so mark it on your calendar, and hopefully we will see you out there.
I was at Publix today.
And
my lady, the manager, she said, "Are you going to Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars?" I said, "Yes." She said, "I'll be there."
Look at that.
Yes.
We got one.
We got one.
We got one. We'll see how it turns out that night. All right, let's do headlines here for the 4 o'clock hour. Brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com.
The Miami Heat were eliminated from the play-in tournament yesterday. You guys, would you like to know some off-season preview notes that the Heat will have to change, or are you not there just yet?
No, sure, bring it.
No, get rid of everybody.
Okay, all right, that's it. Let's move forward.
I swear to God, I was thinking about running it back when I'm telling you, when they hung with them and Bam's gone. I mean, I don't know if that's a testament to just how bad Charlotte was in shooting the 3 last night, but there were moments where I was like, you know what? This Andrew Wiggins is the Wiggins that we had hoped for. And Davion Mitchell, I mean, if he can do what he's doing on a night in, night out basis, I was starting to have weird thoughts last night.
They could run with the 9, huh? They could run with the 9.
But that's not really the 9. See, since January 1st, that's the 2. That's the 2 in the NBA.
Goodness gracious.
Second best net rating. Second, it's not arbitrary. That's a second best net rating since January 1st in the NBA.
But it's an arbitrary number. You're just picking January as the start point when the season starts in October.
Right, but we're talking about a team that since January 1st, it's a pretty large.
But I'm saying that's arbitrary to say since January 1st.
Aren't you guys the ones
in October?
Right, but aren't you guys the ones that tell me that the NBA doesn't even really start until after Christmas anyways?
No. People don't start paying attention till after Christmas, but the games count.
And by the way, Crowder told you about Andrew Wiggins, told you about Davion Mitchell. I'm glad we ended the season there.
Yeah, gotta keep
Davion
Wiggs.
Literally kept them in a game. He was fantastic, and I thought he was scoring on that drive with 4 seconds left. I thought he was scoring.
I thought they had a timeout. And in my post-game show yesterday in the first segment, I'm like, I don't understand not calling a timeout there. I wasn't really like, it is what it is at that point, right? But they didn't have a timeout. The Amazon Prime score bug just had it wrong.
Yes, it was wrong. It was wrong on Amazon.
Which really bothers me because, okay, you had technical difficulties, whatever, I guess. But for 2 minutes, you can't watch an overtime game in the playing tournament when it's the only broadcast. Come on, man. Like, what? And then you're going to have the score bug wrong as well? Like, what are we doing?
Let me just, and I don't want to, add insult to injury. Tyler Hero takes that midi from the foul line and misses.
Oh, okay. That's what we're going to do. When we were down 5 points with 28 seconds left, and then we're up by 1 because of Tyler Hero. But that's what we're going to do there. Okay,
Solana, so now we have 5 seconds. We have 5.
And he gets to advance the ball and draw up a side out of bounds play. Oh, the Heat have no chance. They're going to lose that game anyway.
So now Tyler Hero is our hope. And then we have 5 seconds left. Gift the ball to Davion. What other team is going to say give the ball to Davion?
Well, I think it was just get the ball in as fast as you can. It happened to be Davion was right there, and he did the right thing, by the way, knowing what the situation was on the clock to get down to the basket as soon as possible. Like, that, there was no play called. It wasn't get the ball to Davion. It was like, hey, you got 4 seconds. Get a bucket.
He led the team in scoring yesterday.
But that's not impressive on a team without Bam and these guys.
But if he's hot, he's hot. Like, to me, if you would have said, who do I want the ball with 4 seconds to go, it probably would have been Davion last night. And by the way, I probably would have said for Charlotte, Kobe White over everyone else out there just because of the way that they were playing.
Yeah, go ahead, Crowder. Yeah, look up his box score. Yeah, go ahead. Go look up his box score. He shot 50% from 3, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc, and he shot 12 of 24 yesterday, and he was a menace getting to the rim. Like, he was wide open. He's the only player wide open. He's the quickest player with the ball in his hands. You had 4 seconds to go. We're going to blame Davion Mitchell or the Heat for giving him the ball? Like, there's 4 seconds left.
I'm not blaming them for giving him the ball. He had 28. I'm blaming the roster construction for Davion to be the guy that we're arguing about.
But
Davion Mitchell.
Crowder, we know that Davion Mitchell's not Luka Doncic. Like, we know
saying. This is the
Heat are out there. But we know that. But that's the team that was out there yesterday.
I know. If I rolled out six blob monsters, that's our team. We have to understand what we have, and we have to understand why it ended the way it ended, because Davion is our go-to guy.
It ended that way because LaMelo Ball is a dirty SOB and took out Bam Adebayo. That's why it ended that way.
I'm telling you.
I thought about if I ever see LaMelo Ball at Sexy Fish or any of these little cute restaurants, I'm going to punch him in the face. I had to pull myself off of that narrative.
But I'm telling you, it's so impressive what the Heat were able to do last night on the road without Bam out there. We talked about it a number of times. The experience in the play-in, and that's Bam. Like he's not only your team captain and best player, he's your emotional leader. He's got all the experience. Like, I'm telling you, for them to be in it, it looked like the game was theirs. Without Bam on the court for 3 quarters was as impressive as it gets.
And I think one of the tougher parts for Heat fans yesterday is that Kel'el Ware gets thrown in this spot yesterday. I didn't know if he was going to start. I didn't know if he was going to play 10 minutes because, hey, the Heat are going to go small. He gets put in this situation where he's got to be the anchor for that defense, and he probably had his best game of the season. Probably his best game as a member of the Heat. He was unbelievable, and I wanted the Heat to win that game for Kel'el because it would have just been such a great
Kel'el block.
Right.
Well, Bridges had different thoughts about that.
Tyler Hero up for an extension. This will be the last year, next year, of him on a contract year.
No good.
Andrew Wiggins is a player option that he can opt into. The expectation is that if he were to opt into it, the Miami Heat would find somebody to facilitate a trade with. And then Norman Powell, Simone Fontecchio are free agents.
Bye.
Yeah.
Do you think Ian Eagle, at any point before the game last night, thought he would be blurting out in excitement, Kobe White is not human.
No.
Because he blurted that out as if you were watching Larry Bird in his prime. Kobe White is not human.
He lost himself.
I mean, what the Bulls robbed us of, watching Boozy and Kobe White out there together, what they robbed us of, the second coming of MJ and Scotty.
Boozy.
Man, I hate the Bulls. Like, why would you even trade Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu if you're trying to rebuild anyways? Like, those are the two guys you want to build around. Trade Giddey.
You're speaking to the choir, man. Speaking of the choir.
By the way, if you're a Heat fan and you're one of these Heat fans that wanted them to lose yesterday because you want the better draft pick, like, I get it. I don't agree with you, but I get it. Well, then you better be rooting against Phoenix on Friday. Phoenix lost their play-in game yesterday. They're going to play the winner of the Clippers-Warriors matchup on Friday. If Phoenix loses Friday, no matter who they play, if they lose Friday, the Heat move from the 13th to the 12th overall pick, and their percentage chance to get a top 4 pick, this is according to the Miami Herald, goes from 4.8% to 7.1%. So that's 3% higher odds to get in the top 4. So you're anti-Phoenix on Friday no matter what.
I thought it would have been funny if Ian Eagle yelled out on Simone Fontecchio's airball 3. I thought it would have been funny if Ian Eagle just kind of exasperated when Mama 3. Like instead of the celebratory one that Solana had suggested, it was more like, "Oi, Mama 3."
Wasn't it so perfect that he checks into the game? He checked in like it was so this roster, to Crowder's point, it was so this roster that Bam Adebayo gets hurt. And our break glass in case of emergency in this situation, season on the line, is Simone Fontecchio, who on the first possession, they run a pin down for. He catches at the top of the key. He's covered. Like it wasn't like the pin down, the screen didn't work. And he catches, he fires anyways. He misses the rim, hits the side of the backboard. Like it was so
Mama 3. What would Stan Van Gundy have said?
I jumped up on my couch and yelled, "Yes, sir," while the ball was in the air.
I had that 3-leg parlay yesterday. I had LaMelo over 22. That went over. I had Kalel over 11.5. He went over. The third leg was Pella Larson over 9.5, and I think he ended with 6.
He did have that big pass breakup that led to Tyler getting fouled and hitting the 3 free throws. So heady play by Pella, but he wasn't exactly scoring the basketball at will last night.
No.
No one talks about the big pass breakup, Solana.
It is also funny that like I'm talking about Davion Mitchell like he was Kobe last night, and there were 2 air balls, one at the end of the fourth quarter, one in overtime from Davion Mitchell. How's that possible, right? Like, how's somebody who's on fire? How could
he was
airball
on fire?
Yeah,
on fire. And on that last one in overtime, he missed the rim by 4 feet.
Yep, right there from the corner. Yes, sir. Oh, he ain't hit nothing.
There's some breaking WNBA news. Asia Wilson, that's Bam Adebayo's girlfriend, but obviously 4-time WNBA MVP. She signed a 3-year, $5 million Supermax contract with the Las Vegas Aces. There's a new CBA in the WNBA, but this makes her the largest and most richest contract in WNBA history.
Huh.
That's amazing. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is up for $200 million. Asia Wilson gets 3 for $5. That's crazy.
Crazy.
If you're just joining us, we did talk about it in the last hour, but John Eric Sullivan did meet with the media ahead of the draft next week, and he clarified that Devon Achane is off the table for trades, and they want an extension with Devon Achane. So I don't know if he's just saying that to say it, but why would he, right? Like, he could just play it coy. It doesn't sound like they're trading Devon Achane.
I feel like this is pretty definitive. I think what they're showing Devon's representation and Devon himself is, we're committed to you. We know you didn't show up for, well, it wasn't mandatory.
It was voluntary
training meetings and stuff. But I think they're saying publicly what they're probably telling him in private. Hey, we want you on this team. But now they're saying it publicly. Like, hey, he's not available for trades.
They've already talked to a bunch of teams, and the offers aren't that good, and they know they have a good running back. I'm not saying Devon should be traded, but he needs to get paid before he comes to practice. We looked into it, and nobody's offering us a couple ones, so we'll keep him and pay him. That's how I look at it.
All right, guys, your weather in South Florida right now. By the way, the Panthers do have their regular season finale tonight. I should mention that. It'll be on FM 104.3 WQAM. Doug Plagans, Billy Lindsay on the call before Plagans heads to Asia. And the Marlins will play the Braves in Atlanta tonight. They'll be off tomorrow. This ends that 6-game road trip. 7:15, they've split the first two. Fish can win the series tonight after blowing it yesterday. Marlins fans, I know we were focused on the Heat. Marlins fans were very upset with Clayton McCullough. I've been seeing a lot of Clayton McCullough frustration on my timeline over the past week or so. I guess he went to Fairbanks yesterday. I don't know if anybody watched the game. I guess he went to Fairbanks yesterday in the 8th, and they had a nice cushion in terms of run support, and they ended up blowing it, and they lost the game yesterday. So, no good.
How about you have Davis and De Los Santos in the lineup? None of it matters.
They were up 5-3 in the 8th.
I'm just saying, you're up 9-3 if De Los Santos, and you're up 12-3 if it's De Los Santos and Mervis in the lineup.
Your weather is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. It's 79 degrees in South Florida.
Oy, mama, 3. Could you imagine if Ian Eagle did that? It would have been the funniest damn thing. Oy, mama, 3.
He wouldn't work in a Mama Tria, but he's comfortable going out on the Kobe White is not human.
But he wasn't last night. Kobe White was not human last night.
That 3, bro.
It was impossible. I would like to know, out of 1,000 people, you show them the possession, and you go, this is going to end up, here's where the defender is. What are the chances this goes in? 1,000 out of 1,000 people say he misses that shot. And that, I would say 500 out of 1,000 say he doesn't hit iron.
If he shoots that shot 1,000 times, he misses it
999 times.
I'm saying, like, that shot was not supposed to drop.
That was crazy. It was crazy. All right, Zack Gelb is going to join us in the next segment. Make a plan to spend a day enjoying some horse racing and fun at Gulfstream Park in Hallandale Beach. You have live racing Thursdays through Sundays throughout the entire month of April. Cirque du Soleil Lucia is still currently playing for another 10 nights at Gulfstream Park. It runs through April 25th. You can get your tickets online at gulfstreampark.com. Mark your calendars for the annual Kentucky Derby Trackside Watch Party. That's Saturday, May 2nd. Details and tickets are available right now at gulfstreampark.com/events. Gulfstream Park, it's perfect for a day of racing and fun. Also perfect for a group event. Perfect venue for groups, events, and private parties. They host groups from 10 to over 1,000 people. Make it a day at Gulfstream Park. There is nothing better than a beautiful South Florida day like it is today, betting on some horse racing, and enjoying the great sights and sounds at Gulfstream Park. You can get all the details right now at GulfstreamPark.com.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Another day closer to death.
Hi, Zack Gelb is going to join us here on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. He hosts the Zack Gelb Show on 365 Sports. He's the studio host for NFL and college basketball on Compass Media Networks. And you should follow him on social media at Zack Gelb, ZACHGELB. What did you think of the LaMelo Ball ankle grab on Bam Adebayo last night?
No, it was dirty.
Dirty play.
Absolutely dirty. And I know that, right, if you guys are doing the show and people just hear you today, people from the outside perspective may be like, oh, they're just homers and whatever. That's a dirty play. That's something that can't happen. I don't want to hear afterwards. You hit your head. You didn't know what was happening. There was no two of fingers going on there. He wasn't in the fencing position. That was a dirty play by LaMelo Ball.
But doesn't warrant an ejection, though.
I don't like ejecting a player personally in that spot. That's just me. But, yeah, like, if Channing, you were playing football and some offensive lineman just came up to you and just grabbed your legs and you fell back and it knocked you pretty much out of the game, it does seem like that's an eye for an eye and the player should be ejected. But I guess I don't love ejecting a player in that spot, but it was dirty.
Are the Hornets fun, in your opinion? Obviously, the game yesterday was chaotic and it was fun, right? If you're just a neutral observer. But as somebody who I imagine you haven't tuned into a lot of Charlotte Hornet basketball this year. It was probably the first game that you watched from start to finish because it was on national TV. Are the Hornets fun to you?
Well, not the whole thing was on national TV.
That's right.
That blackout that they had during that game, I'd be losing my mind if I was a fan of the Heat or the Hornets in that spot while it was going on. And you don't know what happened when those cameras were off. So I think the fix is
That's
in.
what I was like, oh, we got a moon landing situation going on here.
The fix is in. I think they should go back, recount the votes, replay the game again. I question the results of that contest. See, Solana, people think that it's you that would be throwing this homerism out there. Since I am now like an adopted member into this family, now I will play the role of being a homer. But to your question, Solana, this is what I'll just say. The Hornets have been miserable for years. And I get it. It's like a play-in victory. They're not even guaranteed to be in the postseason yet. I have a buddy who's a huge NBA fan. He's a big Knicks fan. And all throughout the year, he's been texting me about the Hornets. Oh, they're a fun team, especially what they did in the second half. You got Ball. You got Con Knipple. Kobe White. I made him a household name with that Wow, Wow, Wow interview at the NBA draft. So they are a fun team, but still it's like, where are they heading to?
Yeah, I didn't watch that game last night and think that the Hornets are going anywhere.
Down the road, maybe. Like, they have a good
down the road, maybe, but not this year. Season. Like, I don't think there's some upstart surprise in the East.
And if the ball play didn't happen, I don't think the Heat fan is outraged today, because in the back of the mind, the Miami Heat fan knows this team wasn't, even though they've shown the ability before to get in the play-in tournament and make this deep run, they knew that this team wasn't capable of that this year. The championship for the Heat this year was the Bam Adebayo 83-point game. After that, this team basically packed it up and went home.
LaMelo Ball play doesn't happen. Let's say Bam doesn't miss the game. The Heat win that game last night. They're better.
Yeah. And I know Spoelstra, he kind of got the best of both worlds. He didn't want to sound like a whiner and a complainer, but he was complaining, and I think he's justified to do that.
I thought he should have been more verbose about how that affected the Heat last night. You lost your best player.
In that spot, I know coaches will make the joke like, "Oh, I'm trying not to get fined," and Spo, you got enough money. I think the contract was set up to be fine. The contract happened after the divorce too. So you'll be fine on that front if you get fined by the officials and by the league and get popped with $25,000 or whatever it would be.
He ripped them, and he mentioned Zach Gelb by name too. Like he normally doesn't do that. he did rip them. I wouldn't be shocked if he got fined because he mentioned the official by his name.
Well, that's the thing. If you're gonna get fined, do something that's deserving of getting the fine. He kind of half-assed it where he let he gave the fans a little flesh, and then he goes, but that's ultimately not the reason why we lost the game, because he didn't want to take away from the Hornets.
And is there any chance that that LaMelo gets disciplined? I know financially he will. They're going to fine him, but there's no chance they take the best player off of the Hornets when they're going into the second round of the play-in.
Yeah, especially with how soft the NBA is. I know they're investigating it. I would be surprised if they pull him off the court. And then who knows? Is there an appeal and how long that process plays out? And then if you lose in the playing game when you're appealing it, it gets punted to next season. I don't think it's going to be the difference maker in the Hornets making the playoffs or not. I do think that that's not going to be something that he gets suspended for, is my guess.
But did anyone here think after watching last night that the Hornets could get past Philly or Orlando? No. I didn't.
You never know, though. You just got to put one more game, and then you're there. And I wouldn't say that that's something that I'm expecting, but if you tell me they end up winning another game, would I be shocked? No, I wouldn't be.
Hawk, I think, as much as I hate LaMelo Ball today, and I have no love for that Hornets team after last night, that's a good team. They didn't play their best basketball yesterday in their home building, and in fact, they're one of, I think, only 2 teams to be better on the road than at home this season. So, yeah, I think they're going to be the team that comes out of whatever play-in game they play next.
The only reason I say it is, what's one of the knocks on San Antonio versus OKC? OKC's been there before. San Antonio's young. And I thought you saw that from Charlotte last night. This is a team, they had an impressive second half of the season, and they've got some good players who are exciting, and they can shoot threes. They've got to make them, obviously. But I just think they're too young right now.
But there's also more motivation. Whoever loses that game, it's okay, can you get up? You lost one. You maybe have some players that are all right, we're not really going anywhere. Start planning their vacations mentally, and then a younger team just ends up playing a really good game.
What do you think the line would be? Charlotte and Orlando, Charlotte and Philly.
I think either way it'd be 4.5.
4.5
would be my guess, right?
And would you? I would say I was thinking 5.5 Philly and maybe 3.5 for Orlando.
Yeah, if it gets under, the lower the line gets, the more inclined I am to bet the Hornets, because the more and more in my brain, they're making it too easy. They're begging you to take the favorite, and then the dog always hits. It's like in the NCAA tournament. If a team is a 1.5 point favorite, I'm inclined to take the team that's the underdog in that spot.
Gelby, are we just sitting around and waiting for the Boston Celtics to take the East?
Right now, I would view them as the favorite, but even though they've been so incredible this year without Tatum, and now Tatum's back, I don't know. Something tells me they're not going to get there, but if they are there, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. I know Cade Cunningham is back, but we'll see how that's going to play out through the rest of the postseason. The Knicks need Karl Anthony Towns to actually show some consistency.
Yeah,
but one of those 3 teams.
Big fan of Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns is going to let you down, Gelb. I know you're in New York. He's going to let you down, guaranteed.
Yeah. But then Ryan Clark will probably be defending him on the pivot. Make you feel uncomfortable there, big boy.
Who do we all like tonight? I'll go around the room. Philly is a 1.5 point favorite over Orlando.
I got Orlando. I already bet on it.
You're taking Orlando on the road plus the points.
Yeah, no, and B with the appendicitis, right?
That you taught me how to use.
Crowder got his bonus bets. He thought he lost a bunch of bets on the Hard Rock app last night because he had Bam overs. And I was telling him there's injury insurance. All those bets will convert to bonus bets, and he found them finally.
I will take Solana's favorite player in the league, Paolo Banchero.
Wow, everybody likes Orlando, and I think Solana told us earlier in the week that he liked Orlando.
No, I like Philly in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hate you.
I'm torn on that game.
I got a small fortune on Orlando. What are you doing, Solana?
What costs more, The photos for Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel canoodling, or the bet that you put down? Heard it was only
you love that Rossini Vrabel story.
he loves
I'm so not interested
I'll tell you
in
why.
it. And you cannot stop tweeting and talking about
You
it.
want to know why? Because the media has been the definition of jackassery. Oh, we're just defending our friend. I understand no one likes to criticize their friend, but the idea that you see a man and a woman interlocking fingers, how do you that's romantic. Like,
But so
what are
what?
your intentions there?
But so what?
So just own it. Just own it. I don't like how she's lying and he's lying and they're making it out like we're all stupid and they're above us. It's annoying.
Nobody owns infidelity that quickly. Nobody. Like that. I mean, that's a ridiculous take.
Okay.
Nobody owns. You own infidelity. You know how many times Bill Clinton said, "I didn't have sexual relations with that woman." Like,
Fine.
no one owns infidelity
So
out
my
of the
outrage-
box. It's when it is completely collapsed around you.
My outrage isn't with Diana Rossini or Mike Vrabel. It really isn't. Like, it's horrible what's happening to their families. You know, I would not feel comfortable if my girlfriend was on shows talking that poorly about me. But regardless, what annoys me more is the coverage and the people defending Diana Rossini and like, she deserves the benefit of the doubt. Well, why does she deserve the benefit of the doubt? That's the dumbest thing I've ever
But the
heard.
benefit of what doubt? Who cares?
Listen,
Who cares
Gail,
if they're canoodling?
And then you got
Gail.
Dan Lebitard also. I know that's a name in this market that's sitting there and is like crying last week. Oh, I can't bring. I know you love this, Hawk. You can't bring it up. I feel uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable last week, but today when it fits your narrative, you bring on Jamel Hill to talk about it. Tell me how that makes sense. I thought you're uncomfortable at talking about it. Don't talk about it then.
Gail, you have to tell me what private parts, what swipers and cootie cats are you worried about in this world? Because I'm not worried about many of them.
Oh, I don't care if Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini are getting on. Mike Vrabel, win football games. That's all I care about.
That's it.
But Channing, have you know what? You're actually the perfect person to use for this one. Have you ever interlocked fingers with a woman that you weren't trying to sleep with?
No. You don't interlock. Yeah, you don't interlock fingers.
If it was just a hot tub photo, fine. They're interlocking
this
fingers.
moment where you say interlocking fingers means that they're having sex. Who cares?
Gail, I want to interlock fingers with you.
You won't see me anyway.
You got big hands, Gelb?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, big hands.
Yeah.
Big fella.
Gail is a big dude.
feet.
I don't know if people know it.
You know what they say about big feet, right?
Yeah.
Big socks.
Right.
Yeah.
How about the Clippers tonight before we run out of time? Clippers are 5.5-point favorites over Golden State.
Back to the NBA, huh?
I would like Golden State to lose. Not that I like the Clippers, but Draymond Green has been insufferable. He wasn't
But
nice
what are
to
you
Karl
bet-
Anthony
what are you
Towns last
betting?
year. Who cares? Like, does anyone actually get? If the Heat weren't in this, who gives a flying flip about the play-in tournament?
Oh,
This
really?
is one of the great disgraces we've ever seen in the history of
Oh, I
sports.
disagree.
And this spineless
No.
silver, I understand it's worked because you've had interesting players in here like LeBron and Steph Curry in previous years, and I guess you could say carrying over to this year as well. You can't get these players to play in the regular season. So now, after a regular season they don't give a crap about, we need to reward the 9th and 10th place team and give them another day in sports hospice before we take them out of their misery. It's stupid.
But Gelb, you keep multiple markets locked into the NBA.
Oh, yeah,
And we saw a
wonderful.
great game last night. It was maybe the best play-in game in history.
Wonderful. And when this postseason is still happening on June 15th, and you guys are sitting there saying, oh, it's too long this postseason. I feel like we're talking about it forever. I'm going to go back to this conversation, okay?
Zack Gelb. Follow him on social media at Zack Gelb. ZACHGELB. Strong takes on Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel.
I'd let him keep rolling, man. Like, any thoughts on the Pope, Gelb?
You know, my dad my dad went to Villanova. He's the rare Jew that ever attended Villanova. He was actually featured on Boomer and Geo the other day because my dad loves this joke. He will, anytime the Pope gets mentioned, he goes, you know, I played floor hockey with the Pope at Villanova. I cross-checked him. And that's the dad humor that he always plays on out. And people just don't get the joke, and they actually think he played floor hockey with the Pope at Villanova.
I think it's a funny joke. Jimmy got it. Jimmy,
no,
Jimmy
it's a
was
good
howling
joke.
back there.
Way to go, Jimmy.
I got it.
Solana, I'll explain it to you off the air, right?
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
You happy you extended the interview, Solana?
No, not really.
Oh, Solana's a proud Jew. You know, he may not understand it. He had a lasagna at Passover last week. Tell me how that makes sense.
Listen, man, I went to a private Catholic high school, man. So I'm not exactly the best Jew. I guess you could say.
My favorite Passover story, real quickly, Hawk. My grandmother in Boca Raton, Florida, one year made breaded chicken, and my mom goes, "What are you doing? It's Passover." She goes, "What's the big deal?" She just forgot the whole. It was like our first senior moment. She's, she's 95 right now. She looks like $1 million. She's as sharp could be. But I thought that was her first senior moment when she made breaded chicken at Passover.
Her house. I love your grandma.
Oh, yeah, that's you met her. She said Aziz and Pesach to you about 4 months earlier.
See you, Gelby.
You got it, guys. Be well.
Yes, sir.
There goes Zack Gelb. 5 o'clock Funky Buddha happy hour is coming up. Do not go anywhere.
Man, y'all gotta call Allied Doors. Your garage is outdated, damaged, or not hurricane ready. You know we sneaking up on hurricane season now. Don't wait. Call Allied Doors. Serving South Florida since 1966. That's 60 years of trusted service, family-owned service, and they know how to watch out for you. Don't wait. I've seen it now. I've seen you see it. We've both seen it. We've all seen it. The beautiful homes and the garage doors are garbage. It's messing up the look, and you're not protected from these hurricanes that are on the way. You can't have a beautiful house with a terrible garage door. They have huge in-stock inventory, same-day service. Call them today. Call them tomorrow. It is going to be super fast. Custom impact-rated doors built to protect and upgrade your house. Plus, industry-leading, the LiftMaster openers. I'm telling you, once I got with Allied Doors, I didn't know the difference because the door opener, you ain't making all that noise. Listen, LiftMasters are quiet and they're the best. You have to get LiftMasters. I'm telling you, built for performance. The personal house, my house, we have called Allied Doors. Investment properties, we called Allied Doors. You got to call them today. 954-942-8550. Visit allied-doors.com. If you mention this ad, you're going to get $300 off. Do not wait anymore. I'm telling you, the hurricane season is coming. Call Allied Doors today.
This is Hoch, Crowder, and Solana.
I used to spray paint raccoons and see if they come back in my yard after I catch them.
It's a great move. Five o'clock hour is the Funky Buddha Happy Hour, and it's brought to you by our friends at Funky Buddha Brewery. Drown your sorrows. A little trip to Funky Buddha tonight. Watch the other play-in games and enjoy some pregame Pilsner. Do you know what's going on Friday night at Funky Buddha in Oakland Park?
Yes, the beer pairing.
That's right, the spring beer pairing dinner. Chef Jeff is throwing it down on Friday. There are very limited tickets available, but if you want to have a great dinner with great beer, go to funkybuddha.com and you'll have, listen, I didn't want to say it yesterday and the other days, but I wasn't suggesting that you really go to this dinner because I thought there might be a play-in game Friday night that you'd want to see. But now you got nothing to do, Jack. I mean,
Panthers out, Heat out.
That's it.
Go get you a good meal with your lady.
Funky Buddha.
Yeah,
the only person who loves you still is Funky Buddha.
Take your lady out. Take your man out.
Yes.
And have a good meal.
Friday night, Funky Buddha, the beer pairing dinner. And tonight, if you are going to the final Panthers game, you can enjoy some Funky Buddha right there at the Amerant Bank Arena. Got the Funky Buddha tap room right there. Someone had texted us during the break, did you talk puck yet? Panthers versus Detroit. I texted him back. I said, yeah, we broke down the game. We previewed it for an hour from 2 till 3. You missed our big Panthers preview of the big Panthers Red Wings game tonight.
Don't worry, though. I sent a clip of it to Plagan, so if you want to listen back to it, he's going to play it on the pregame show.
Fair enough. So Panthers tonight on this radio station. If you're going there, get yourself some Funky Buddha right across from Pantherland. And let's get headlines here for the 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour with Alejandro Solana, brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Solana will now try to weasel his way onto the Marlins broadcast somehow and see if he can add a third sport to his QAM resume.
I mean, it would just be absolutely terrible. Steven Strom came down with the flu for a couple weeks. I mean, brain for you, Stromy.
Stromy.
You didn't know? That's what we call him, the pastrami sandwich.
No, yeah, the pastrami.
No.
Yeah, you didn't know?
Jimmy said that Davison De Los Santos is in the lineup tonight.
Yep, batting ninth.
Well, now you know what to do with that bonus bet, Crowder.
Batting ninth?
Yeah.
Yes, that's last.
You want to have power at the bottom of the lineup, too.
Yeah, the ninth batter usually the best.
Heads up. Heady play by Clayton McCullough there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I'm surprised you have all your attention there on Davison De Los Santos. You doing okay back there? I don't know if you guys knew, but, Jimmy's this massive Real Madrid fan. And Real Madrid was playing a must-win game today in the second leg of their Champions League quarterfinal game against Bayern Munich, 2 champions of Europe. And they had the opportunity to win the game late, and Bayern actually scored a goal at the very death of the match to eliminate Real Madrid. Jimmy, you must be really distraught over there.
Heartbroken, but they did their best.
Oh, it was a good game, though. It was a good game. No, it was a good game.
See, he was trying to line you up there, and Jimmy neutered it by going, well, they tried their best.
We practiced it during the break.
Stop it.
We literally practiced
Stop it.
We practiced it.
You completely mangled that, Jimmy, by saying they tried their best.
The only part he nailed the entire time was the heavy breathing with the mic open.
I just put $10 on Davison De Los Santos to hit a ding-dong tonight at plus 900.
Yeah, I went crazy with these bonus bets.
Those bonus bets, man, they feel like free money, right? Even though you've spent it.
I got a Blancho Ranchero over. I got all kind of foolishness.
Man, so you like Orlando. I kind of like Philly, too. I'm with Solana on this one.
Now you're going to do that to me. I just put $160 on Orlando.
Yeah, but trust me, if you've seen my betting history, I'm like 1 of 18 in my last 18. And I just bet Davison De Los Santos to hit a home run. He's batting 9th.
Yeah, never mind. I'm good.
I don't know, man. Like Orlando's just been they've been the Heat all season. They just like they had the 5 seed, then the 6 seed, then they just kind of blew it. You're picking them to go on the road, Crowder, and win a game. I know Embiid's not playing, but I don't know.
They're not playing, but I got a Pablo Banchero double at plus 120.
Yeah. Well, Pablo's usually good for that, so that's a good bet.
Yep.
Yeah, Blanchero for sure. I like that one.
Blanchero.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Pablo Blanchero. You're going to take issue with Blanchero? How about Pablo?
Just trying to figure out what else I can find that was a good game, since that's all you guys really care about here.
It's important.
Games. Yeah.
That Real Madrid thing didn't hit at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love good games.
The Heat were eliminated yesterday, and I guess we'll see regarding LaMelo Ball. Are you guys not expecting a suspension at all from the NBA at all?
No, I'm not.
I don't expect it, and I don't want it. I want to see the best basketball players play basketball.
Well, perfect. Then wait for Oklahoma City and San Antonio to take the court. I like that idea from you, Crowder. And we'll suspend LaMelo Ball for a game. Eye for an eye. Eye for an eye.
I think Concanipple should be suspended, by the way,
you can't
by Charlotte.
I'll say it again. A fender bender that causes a heart attack is not a vehicular manslaughter.
But you're comparing apples to oranges.
I don't think you're right on that.
It is.
Oh, someone even put that up on the chat. Did Crowder really start the show with if you run a stop sign and hit a person and they have a heart attack, it's not vehicular manslaughter?
Listen,
I believe it is.
Bender, if I bump the back of another car, but that person has a heart attack, that's not caused by the bump. You can't have the outcome of the problem be the problem that you're going to say. You can't do that. What? You can't say if Bam got up and kept playing, nobody would want anybody to be suspended.
But that's separate. That's a separate argument.
That's what I'm. But so Bam didn't finish the game. Now everybody wants him suspended. People grab people's legs all the time. I've watched it on ESPN all day today.
No, they don't. They don't grab people's legs all the time.
Yes, they do.
Well,
and nobody.
Are you talking about UFC or are you just talking about NBA only?
Nobody gets ejected for slapping somebody's leg.
But it doesn't ever lead to a player being injured and having to leave the game directly into the locker room. And Crowder, take away the heart attack. If you hit me with your car, right, fender bender, you crash me on the turnpike.
Just bump your bumper.
Okay,
not a crash into your driver door. I bump your bumper.
Right, but it leads to my arm being broken. That's not your fault.
That's not my fault. No, your arm is weak.
What?
Right.
So Bam's tailbone is weak.
Got to move on. This didn't have traction in the 2:00 hour. It doesn't have traction now.
You can't look at the outcome of the foul and say now it's egregious. You can't look at it like that.
You're right in basketball because it has to be instantaneous. But in vehicular manslaughter, you have to wait for the trial and you get the luxury of putting together all the facts and the backstory. So in the vehicular manslaughter case, you're absolutely incorrect.
No, you're not.
You're absolutely incorrect.
I died one time.
That has nothing to do with anything.
On Saturday, played on Sunday.
Doesn't matter.
Well, you swung me with that, Crowder. I think I'm on your side now. You had 4 hours to formulate your argument, and somehow it got worse. I don't know.
All he did was restate it.
Because it's a great point.
It's really one of the worst points ever made.
A fender bender causes a heart attack. I did not kill you with my truck.
If you ever seen these stories, and this absolutely happens, somebody knocks somebody out in a bar fight.
Yeah.
They fall down. Their head hits the concrete. They die. They go into a coma. They die. You know what they're charged with? Murder.
I think that's ridiculous.
But it happens all the time. It doesn't matter if you think it's ridiculous or not.
Okay. A normal foul. You're running down the court. You go to shoot. I slap your arm. You fall into the crowd. Just a foul.
Mm-hmm.
I slap your arm the same way. You fall into the crowd and your head hits a chair. And now you're paralyzed. The foul was the same foul. Wasn't it?
But the outcome is exactly what matters when the charges come. 100%. If you're talking about legal charges, it's completely different than the infraction in a basketball game. You're comparing something that is so factually different, it's mind-numbing. When you're charged with something legally, it's completely based on the outcome, the actual outcome. Even if the outcome doesn't happen till 3 years later, people can lay in a coma for 3 years and they don't come out of it. They die 3 years after the person is charged with murder or manslaughter. It's not that way in a basketball game. You're arguing something that is factually wrong.
If Bam jumps up and runs back down the court, no one wants LaMelo Ball ejected.
Completely separate argument. It has nothing to do with manslaughter. The legal system doesn't work like fouls in a basketball game.
I've been in the legal system.
That doesn't mean anything either.
I have attorneys.
Those are your sports headlines. The other playing games are tonight. The Sixers, they will host the Orlando Magic at 7:30. And then the Clippers, they will host the Golden State Warriors after that game. The Marlins do play tonight, 7:15 in Atlanta. They'll play the Bravos, and the Florida Panthers will end their season tonight. Regular season finale. It's at the Emirates Bank Arena. They will host the Detroit Red Wings at 7 p.m. You can listen to the Panthers on FM 104.3 WQAM. The Miami Marlins will be on our sister station, AM 560.
Davis De Los Santos batting 9th tonight, by the way.
Oh, really?
Big bet.
Hope he has a great game.
Your weather in South Florida. It's a problem with sports fans. No passion. It genuinely, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like all you care about is your own selfish viewership pleasures. It's a problem.
Mm.
Your weather in South Florida.
I might watch the Heat game again tonight because I enjoyed it so much yesterday. It was just a good game.
Yeah, enjoy that.
They replaying that?
It's 80 degrees in Miami right now. Actually, 78. It's dropped 2 degrees from 80. Tonight, the lows are gonna be in the low 70s. Going to be in the low 70s. That weather report was brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, replacing roofs, roof repairs, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com.
All right. Will Manso is going to join us in the next segment. We will talk some Miami Heat with Will Manso. He's passionate. He's not watching the game again tonight. He doesn't care if it was a good game or not. Just loves his Heat, as do we all. Will Manso in the next segment. Don't go anywhere.
So the playoff push was heating up, but it's still heating up, just not for our local team down here in Miami. But you still got a lot of playoff action ahead.
What
you
you
know
have
that
on
every
Prize
bucket,
Picks
every
last
dime,
night?
every
Anything?
win, it just hits different when you're talking about Prize Picks. You want to download Prize Picks right now, and you get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Just use my code Solana, SOLANA. That's it. It's super simple. You get $50 instantly when you use my code Solana, SOLANA. And if you've never used the app, don't worry. It really is extremely easy. In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to prove to you how easy it is to use Prize Picks and win money on Prize Picks. Obviously, you have to get your selections correct. You're picking 2 to 6 players, their stat projections, and you're simply doing more or less on what's listed. So tonight, we got playing basketball. Paolo Banchero or Pablo Blanchero, if you're Crowder, 5.5 assists. That's the stat projection on Prize Picks. I'm going to pick more or I'm going to pick less. I'll pick more. Jalen Suggs, 3-pointers made. That's the stat projection. It's listed at 2.5. I'll take more. Paul George, 21.5 points. More or less? I'm going to pick less. Paul George points. Tyrese Maxey, 29.5 points. I'll pick more. So there you go. That's my 4-player stat projections. That's my lineup. If all 4 of those hit, I cash out. Or there's also different ways that you can play. You have the flex play where you can get paid even if one of those picks misses. 3 out of the 4 are correct, then I still cash out. Or if you want bigger payouts, you go for the power play. All 4 have to hit. And no matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. So don't wait any longer. You saw how easy it is. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Use my code Solana, SOLANA. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Who would be interested in Abuela Danger?
WQAM.